Good evening, everyone. Good early evening, afternoon. How you doing, everyone? Hope you're all well. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Claude and the Banstas for this Arsenal versus West Bromwich Albion watch-along, and we are live.
Thomas, it's up for grabs now! Thomas! Right at the end! Tony Adams put through by Steve Ball, would you believe it? Pierre is in for Arsenal and sweeps it home. With bergkamp. That's magnificent. Stripped it away from Tom. Henry! And it's it's time to go!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Claude and the Banstas for this watch-along. We've got a special guest with us today. Also, we've got the man, the one and only Diesel. How you doing, Diesel? Hope you're well.
Yes. We're here. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Knackered, absolutely cream crackered at the moment, mate. Shattered, as I just said to you. Banging headache. But I'm not going to call in sick tell because it just means it's just another night where I don't get to chat to our lovely people in the Banster house. Come on. And also, I haven't shared a screen with Accrington Stanley in God knows how long. So there was no way I was missing this.
No, exactly. We've got the man himself, Stan the man, Stanley from Canada. How you doing, Stan?
All right, lads. All right, everyone in the chat. It's been a while since I've graced these shores, so thanks for having me on, mate. I'm sure we've got a lot to talk about. It's been ages.
Yeah, we have. Just before we do, a big shout out to Footy Chats. It's just become a new member of our YouTube family. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Like Diesel said last week, we're going to start ramping up content on this channel now. That obviously we'll get onto that in a minute. We've laid the legend to rest yesterday, but we're going to start ramping up the content. We're going to start doing member streams all the time now from now on. So thank you very much for coming aboard, Footy Chats. Hopefully we get a lot more of you to come aboard. But we'll get onto that afterwards. First of all, yesterday, just want to say, absolutely beautiful. Great send off for the legend Claude. We had we met some good people.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Do you know what? I'm losing days and times.
That's how quick the weekend's gone, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, Diesel. But no, it was a beautiful send off. The Emirates. There was a lot of people at the Emirates to see him, and then obviously to the church. And it was lovely. I've got to say a big shout out to Leanne, his daughter, that put all of that together. Absolutely beautiful. And his family welcomed us with open arms, Diesel.
Yeah. Listen, the family were lovely. Look, it was an hard day, man. It was a hard day. It was emotional. The church was emotional. The crematorium was emotional. You know, it was very personal, very touching. So many of those photos, so many fans sent photos in of themselves with Claude at games, etc., and they all popped up on the screen. And you know, when you're playing the music in the background, it just adds to it, didn't it? And it was listen, it was the final curtain, and I think that's what we struggled a lot with, you know. But you know what? He had a right good send off, and just to echo what Terry said, massive big up to Leanne and the family, because that was, if it was hard for us, it was definitely hard for them. And you know, listen, they welcomed us. Let's have that right. You know, we went to the wake after. The family are absolutely lovely, by the way, I've got to say. Very welcoming, very welcoming. And we just sat there and shared stories and funny stories about Claude and some of the things he did, some of the silly things he used to do. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, and let's be honest, there were loads of them, you know. So it was nice. And big up to Kenny, Ken, and Lee Gunner as well. It was just the four of us, really. Yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
Rolfe. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Tony Rolfe as well.
Yeah.
And especially all the people who carried the coffin. I know there's a lot of people who sort of don't feel comfortable with doing things like that. It's totally understandable. But yeah, we did how we did. I'll never know because the road was so narrow. We're just bumping into things.
Unbelievable.
And my shoulder, I'm still recovering. But no.
Can I just say, Diesel, big up to them funeral directors and then people that do that every single day.
Oh God, how they do that?
To be honest, you know what I mean, I really don't know how to do it. They must have some shoulder pads in, surely, mate, because that was hard on the shoulders, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, I'm still recovering, mate. I'm still recovering, so yeah, and I'm not the smallest of blokes, so yeah, fair play to them. Doing that all day, you don't need the gym, that's for sure.
I'm sure Claude in his own way was having a laugh in that box with how we managed to get him down to the altar there, Diesel.
Oh yeah, of course he was. Yeah, he was laughing at us too, probably calling us a couple of muppets. So that was him all over, though, wasn't it? But no, listen, no, all joking aside, it was nice. It was nice. It was a nice send off. No less than the man deserves. Yeah, and just a thank you to all you guys because the amount of messages that we've got as well, just obviously wishing us well on the day. There's a lot of people who wanted to go but couldn't, whether they live abroad or whatever. Just thank you. Humbling as always. And your support has been unwavering. So love yous. I just love yous, man.
Yeah. I saw some of the pictures that you guys posted. So obviously still hard to believe that he's not here, but really glad to see that he got a good last ride. Flowers look lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I gave him my hat, the one with the red, and I love that hat. So just goes to show how much I love the bloke. Let him have the hat. Go on. Bless him.
No, he definitely would have loved that. Just to let everybody know that we will be putting a video out of the funeral on that day, probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week. And the bit that Diesel said, which was absolutely lovely, when we was in the church, of all the fans that knew Claude and had pictures with Claude to send them in. We're going to put that out and all because that was absolutely fantastic, and it's nice to see. It's a nice moment for everybody to share and all. So as soon as we've got the video for that, we will definitely put that out so you all can see that. So, but rest in peace, big man, and hopefully now we can move on, Diesel, and make this channel as big as what he would have wanted it, mate.
Yeah, listen, I tweeted it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, and just look, he's had a lovely send off now. Let's really move this channel and let's protect his legacy. I use that word protect. Yeah, let's protect it because it is a legacy. This was his. Yeah. Let's have that right. He's been part of other stuff in the past, but this was his. This was something he built from the ground up. Yeah. So the way I look at it, even though he's not here anymore, he's still here in spirit. I feel he's here when we're doing our streams, but this was his baby. He was, so the way I look at it, let's protect what was his and let's grow what was his, and let's see how far we can take it, exactly. And that word legacy, that means something, so yeah, let's see what we can do. And we're only going to be doing that when we have decent people like, I keep saying Accrington, I should stop it. Stanley.
I just want to quickly clear something up because a few people have asked me a few questions on that. We will never ever be changing the name of this channel, never, because obviously it's got rules in it. I've had people asking me what you're going to do with it. We would never change it because obviously, it's memory to him. It's his legacy,
and rightly so. His name should always remain above the door. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, Stan. We'd never do that. And at the moment, me and Diesel really like the intro, so we don't want to change the intro at the moment. Obviously, it shows the video of Claude in it, having a laugh, and that's what this channel was about: family, laughter, Arsenal. That was everything to do with it. So at the moment, we won't. That's not even entering our minds about changing the intro. So that's here to stay at the moment. So I just want to get that cleared up because a couple of people have asked me, and I've had questions about it. So I just wanted to get that out there. Right, let's move on for today, boys. Obviously, we've got a game going on. Arsenal, the team line up quickly. Leno in goal. As far as I'm concerned, this is what it is at the moment. I don't know if the formation changed. I've not really had a look on the TV. I've been watching it. So at the moment, I've got it as Chambers, Oldin, Gabriel, and Saka in defence. El Neni, Ceballos, Smith Rowe, William, Pepe, and Martinelli up front. That's how I think it's going. So, what's your thoughts on that, Diesel?
You know what? To be honest, I'm still a bit upset, annoyed, and angry from last week, mate. So I'm still in that headspace where I think it's irrelevant for me what the lineup is. Listen, I just want the season to be done. Do you know what? I know we're going to talk about score predictions very quickly and stuff like that. These are the kind of games I reckon we're probably going to smack them because there's no pressure on us. You know, when we needed them, when we really needed them to perform and show up, they didn't. Game like this today, West Brom, nothing to really play for. These are the kind of games where they're probably going to do them 3 or 4-0 because there's no pressure. You know, when there's no pressure on us, we actually can play. So for me, the lineups are irrelevant. The season's done. I just want it to end and we go again next season. I'm shocked this man is still here. Actually, I'm not shocked, really, because no matter what, I think it's going to be here until next season. But for me, anyway, I'm angry, mate, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's irrelevant for me. It's irrelevant.
Well, we're just kicked off, by the way, guys. So let me know when you've got your streams in order. Stan, what's your thoughts on the lineup?
In a game like today, which is basically a dead rubber, he may as well start his pre-season now, really. So if you're going to start your pre-season now, players like Ceballos, if they're not going to be a part of the plans next year, don't use them anymore. Just don't use them. If you've got a player like Willian and you're seeing that there's talks about him going off to the MLS, don't use them anymore. Use some of the other youngsters that you would start using in the pre-season. Start with them now. Doesn't matter if we lose. Do you know what I mean? Because we ain't playing for anything. So I don't understand these players. Just get rid of them. If they're not going to be around, bring in some of the youngster ones. Give them some minutes. You know, you could have a front three there with take Willian out. You could have had Martinelli on the left, Pepe on the right, and maybe put Balogun through the middle. You know, he's just re-signed a contract with us. Are we ever going to get to see the guy play? It's a dead rubber. It can't hurt by putting him in, can it? It's not like
exactly.
You know, it's not going to cost us. It's not going to cost us a load of money if we can't reach that Champions League place. That's all gone. So just start the pre-season now.
You know what it is, Stan? It's nothing to lose, but something to gain. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, a little bit of pride. I mean, where are we in the league now? 9th? Where are we going to finish? There's no guarantees that the next game's coming up.
I was going to say that. I mean, who's the last team in Europe? Is it 7th place or 6th place? I can't remember.
I think it's 6, isn't it?
Is it 6 or 7th?
Yeah, I think it's 6, Tel. But, I mean, there's no guarantee that these last few games are going to move us up the table. If anything, we could go even lower.
Well, if we win today,
I've seen.
If we win today, we can go 4 points behind Spurs with 3 games left.
And what place would that be in the table?
Yeah, but what does that matter? What's that matter?
7th. No, I'm just saying at the moment we could go 4 points behind Spurs, 5 points behind Liverpool, and 6 points behind West Ham with 3 games to go. I'm not saying that we're going to get up there by any means. What I'm saying is that, you know, I know a lot of, including me, is saying, should we really be watching this game? Do we really care? But there is still a chance of getting in there. Or not a realistic chance, but it's still not over completely yet to get Europe.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. It's still not over yet. Once it's completely over, look, what I'm trying to say is that no matter what, I'm wearing the top today. I'm Arsenal supporter. You know what I mean? I'm not just here to support Arsenal when we win. I'm here to support them through the bad times too. That's what I'm saying. I'm here for that. So obviously, why we've got a game today, I still want us to go out there. I still want us to win, and I still want us to get 3 points.
Oh yeah, obviously, come rain or shine, right? You know, you're not there just for the good.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I'm not a glory hunter. I'm not here just to you know what I mean. You know, when we win, we can sin, and then you know what I mean. When we're up there, we're just sin then, and then when it all goes tits up, then that's it. You know what I mean. I don't want to know about Arsenal. That's not me. Am I still what? Listen, the other night I was absolutely fucking fuming. I'm still fuming. But if he goes, he goes. I ain't gonna lose any sleep over it. But I don't think he's gonna go.
Why were you fuming though? What was it that was making you fume? Was it like using a false 9 in the first leg? What is it? What is it that pissed you off?
I think it's got everything to do with it. Not just the false 9, his team lineup, his team selection in both of the games, the way that we both played. But I'm not just that. I'm not just having a go at him. I'm having a go at the players too, all the players, because there's players on that pitch, right? If you look at the players like Foden and Mason Mount and things like that, they would, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what game they play, they would have picked up and played their arts out. So people like Saka, you know, some people might say that he's had too many games or whatever like that. Well, no, he hasn't had too many games. He hasn't had too many games. He still should have enough in the tank to go out there and put a performance on for me. He should have done.
I get that, but then you haven't really answered this question, have you?
Hold up. Saka's in the box, played it across. Chambers. Pepe's put it well over the bar.
What time are you on? I'm on 4 minutes 25.
I'm on about a minute in front of you. So what about you, Diesel?
Right. Even stands there doing me.
Does it, Diesel? No.
Oh, mate. No. 507, 509, 510, 511.
They're just getting off the coach on Diesel stream.
What you want?
Exactly, yeah. In the last game. Yeah, wait, tell. Don't listen. No. Give me hold up. Answer that question. Are you Arteta out still?
No, not Arteta out. Well, no, I don't listen. What I'm saying is, if he goes, I won't be upset. If he goes, I won't be upset because he deserves to go. But like I've said all along, I would give him until Christmas next year because there's 2 reasons.
Christmas.
2 reasons for that, right? One is that obviously now the Cronkies have got to do something big. They've got to, because if they don't, well, I say if they don't, there'd be a load of protests and God knows what. There was supposed to be a protest tonight. There's 100 people there.
Let me ask you a question, Terry. I want to ask you, right? Say you would still give Mikel Arteta our funds to use in the summer. You don't think that some of the things that you've seen are...
Come on, Pam.
I just don't see how it's got anything to do with giving him money to buy players, because it's the decisions that he's making in game are just like inept, Terry, from what I'm seeing. It's absolutely inept. Do you know what I mean? What's the point of him going out and buying another striker if when you get to like a semi-final of the biggest game in your season, you choose not to play any? Do you know what I mean? And like people were saying, hang on. People were saying like, well, when we saw the training videos during the week, it didn't look like that's how they were setting up. And I probably agree with that. I've got a feeling that during that week of that lead up to that first leg, they probably were doing their regular training. And then the night before the game, right, I could picture it. He's tossing and turning in his bed. He can't get to sleep. He's getting up. He's walking around the bedroom, thinking. And then the first thing in the morning, he goes into the dressing room. He rips down everything they've done in the week and he puts a new thing up and goes, right, we're doing that. We're going to do that. And it's like, but Gaffer, it's like the kickoff's in 10 minutes. I don't care. We're doing that. And that's how it comes across. Do you know what I mean? I don't see how giving him money is going to change when he does his substitution.
But then what
playing people out of position, stuff like that. I don't see how money changes his actual in-game management. Do you see what I'm saying?
The reason why I'm saying that, Stan, because I've been saying it since Arteta's got here.
If he was playing like a regular back four throughout the season, hold on. If he was like, let's say he was playing a regular back four throughout the season, the same formation, knew what his best 11 was, but they just weren't good enough to get the results, then I could say to myself, yeah, maybe when he gets money, he can go out and buy the right players. But he hasn't been doing that. I mean, we very rarely see the same back four, come rain or shine. And people wonder why Leno's form has dropped. Remember when Leno was almost our joint player of the season? He saved us. He saved us a lot. Season and a half ago. The difference is that back then he had the same back four in front of him for most of the time. It was organised. He had a back four in front of him which had built up partnerships. The two centre backs, but that's not happening this season.
But a lot of that, Stan, don't forget, is because of injuries. Let's have it real. Let's have it real. A lot of that is because of injuries. Tierney's been injured.
No, it hasn't been. No, there's not been that injury at right back. There's no injury at right back. How many times has he changed the right back position? If it ain't Cedric, it's Bellerin. If it ain't Bellerin, it's Chambers. They're all fit. So that's not down to injury. The centre back pairing, other than David Luiz, there's been no injuries. Only the left back position has had injuries. And he's changing the back four.
David Luiz has been injured. Mari's been injured. Olding's been injured. Tierney's get injured nearly every 2 or 3 games.
No, he's had enough. I disagree, Terry. I think he's had enough.
Stan, can you see why me and him ran? Can you now see why he deflects? He deflects from Arteta and he's blaming injuries, yeah? Every team in the Premier League has suffered with injuries.
Right, so hold up.
Some more than the other, yeah? But Terry thinks, right, all it's going to take, right, is funds. Yeah, we're not talking about money, Stan. We're talking about in-game management. If
it ain't about funds, so what you're saying is then, if a new manager comes in and doesn't change the team, and has the same team, we're going to do miles better then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let's look at it this way, right? Frank Lampard. When Frank Lampard went into Chelsea, right, he got given well over 200 million. He got given funds, right?
Thank you.
Now look at Tommy Tickle. He ain't gone in there and bought any new players. He's working with the same players that Frank Lampard had. But because of his experience, he's got into a Champions League.
You can't have that argument, Stan.
Of course he can. That was on the floor.
Hold up. You keep asking me. You won't let me answer, boys.
Oh, he got to do things to want him out.
Hold up. How many of our players?
Yeah, you was all for it. Now you changed the mind. No, bollocks, mate. No, you. Oh, do you know what? I'm going for a cigarette, mate.
Answer me this, Stan. Right, you just said that. So if you're Thomas Tickle, right, how many of these Arsenal players would you buy?
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is.
Hold up. Answer me first. How
many of what? How many players?
How many Arsenal players would you want in your team?
Tierney, Gabriel.
No, if you're Chelsea.
How many would I take? How many would I buy from Arsenal? There's a few there that I'd buy. I'd have them.
If you were Chelsea now with all them players, you think any of that you would go out and buy it off of Arsenal now if you was Thomas Tickle?
If there was room in the squad, obviously in positions. Do you know what I mean? If you're asking me like if there's any players from Arsenal I'd take if I was running Chelsea, I could fit some in. Yeah, of course. But the thing that I'm trying to make is that it's not just about money. Did you know what I mean? I think it's not. Frank Lampard had money. Frank Lampard had money, and it was a disaster.
From the beginning, right?
The experience has come in now.
Right? When he come in, let's be honest. When he come in, we all of us said that there needs to be a change completely from top to bottom, right? That started to happen. No other manager done that. Wenger didn't do it, and nor did the manager before, Emery. It didn't happen. We still had all them players. We got rid of most of them players. There is something happening in the background. Look, like I just said, if he gets sacked tomorrow, would I cry about it? No, I wouldn't, depending on who come in. Let's be honest, because we don't know who Arsenal would go out and pick. We don't know who they're going to go out and pick. Are you honestly saying now that you got every faith in who Arsenal's going to go out and pick?
Oh no, of course not. I mean, we haven't even got any scouts, right? We've gone with analytics. We've gone with analytics over scouting, and that's a big mistake. But I just want to say to the guys in the chat, I know it's too cool. I just like saying Tommy Tickle. I just like saying it. It's easier. But I do think that experience has to go a long way. It has to go a long way. And Tommy
I'm not
Tickle's
saying
got
it doesn't,
experience,
Stan.
and that's why he's beginning to get more out of Chelsea than
I'm
Frank
not saying
did.
it doesn't. But then Tottenham thought they had that with the experienced manager, didn't they? And what have they done this season?
Oh,
Nothing.
my God.
They've done nothing. Oh,
Yeah,
come off it.
people in glass houses, Terence. Come on, man.
I'm just giving you an example. You're saying that you want an experienced
But
manager.
Stan gave you an example about Chelsea, but you're not having that.
Why can't you see
So
that?
when Tommy Tickle got there, Chelsea were on the floor, right?
That's one
He's not bought one. Yeah,
Hold up, Diesel.
technically astute. Now look at Chelsea. They're in 2 cup finals, Terry. What a difference he's made, right, in only a few months. And yet you're talking about a 4 or 5 year process. That man, right, that man has done it in a few months. Look at him. He's transformed them. He's not bought anyone.
Diesel.
The majority of these players are now Arteta's, right? They are his players, Terry. He's been there 19, 20 months, right? They weren't playing for him in 2, not 1, count them, Terry, 2 semi-finals. They did not turn up. Semi-finals, Terry. Yeah?
Okay.
Right? You weren't saying all this the other night, right? Come on now. Come on.
Right,
Come on. For the good and great of this country, right? Come on now. Put the before this man.
Diesel. You gave an example, right, of Tommy Tickle, as Stan calls him, right? You've gave an example. So take my example. The manager that you wanted. He went to another team. This is my example. Listen to me first before you jump in. You had your example of Thomas Tuchel, who's gone to Chelsea, right? My example is you wanted the manager that went to Tottenham. What did he do for that club? Like I said to you, he would win nothing at that club. He done nothing. That is my example. You've got 2 examples there. One was an experienced manager that, by your token, has won everything in the game. Won everything. And he didn't. What did he do for Tottenham? He done nothing. He done absolutely nothing.
There is a difference between Mourinho and Tickle, right? One of them is kind of like, he's kind of like in that Wenger era where he hasn't really sort of like grown with the times any further. Hold on. His methods have got a bit stale. Right? His methods have got a bit stale. Whereas Tickle, he's an up and coming.
He's a new up and coming manager.
He's rising. Yeah, he's got new methods. He's got new methods and stuff like that. So that there is a difference.
I agree with that, Stan. But like I said, when I was saying this back then, when people wanted Mourinho was the Messiah. He was, you know what I mean? He was.
I wasn't in that camp.
And don't forget, they won the league back in November, Tottenham. Look where they are now. They're nearly as bad as us. We could be 4 points behind them today.
And you have to remember, Terry, the last time you and I spoke, if you remember, the last time you and I spoke when we were like on there, if you remember, I've never been a Arteta out. Remember what I said? I said to you, right? He wasn't the manager that I wanted. He wasn't the one that I would have chosen. And when he came in, as I said, 50-50 I was. I'm like, but I'll back him because he's the Arsenal manager. I don't want to go through like a revolving door. You remember me saying all of that? However, since that time, I can only go by what I've seen, right?
Thank you.
And I just think that as much as I want him to succeed, I just think that he's shown a lot of ineptitude, big time. Some of the decisions that he's making, some of the choices that he's making, is some of his in-game management, some of his off-the-pitch management. It's mind-boggling. But I don't know what we can't really complain because we signed up for a manager that had never done the job before. What do you expect? He's never done the job before. He's never done the job before. And I think the biggest problem was with Arsenal was they should have kept him as the head coach. Once they gave him the title of manager and more responsibility, more than just like doing the coaching, having to look at contracts, having to sit down with all the agents and having to actually run the bigger aspects of the club, he's not ready for that. He's still learning the coaching side of being the head coach. So he's out of his depth. You know, he's doing stuff that he just really doesn't know what he's doing. He's got no one around him with experience. He's a sounding board who can pull him into check. Sometimes you need someone to say, come on, man. You need someone around you to say, come on, man, you want to let's not do that. Go and sleep on it. Let's talk about it in the morning. But he seems to be surrounded by inexperience as well, and they're yes men.
Do you know what? I'd have more respect for you, yeah?
He's got no sounding board, right? There was no one there when he said, "Okay, I'm going to give Willian a 3-year deal." There was no one there to say, "Hold on a minute, let's talk about this. Let's sleep on it. He's allowed to run amok from what I can see, and there's no one there to pull him in. Vinay, right, is supposed to be his boss, really, the CEO, the general manager. He's never done that job before. Edu is in the position of technical director. He's never done that before at club level. Yeah. So we've got all of these people that are all doing the job for the first time, and there's no guidance. There's no one to steady the ship. And that's why, if it were me now, I would pull the trigger, get rid of him, and bring in someone like Rafa Benitez for 18 months to balance everything out a little bit. A little bit like when Gus Hiddink went into Chelsea. You know, it's not going to be a 3-year job. You know what I mean? It's there to just bring a little bit of steady. And if anything, he can teach some of these other people how to run a club. That's what I think, anyway.
Like I'd have more respect for you, Terry, if you held your hands up and said, look, he's good looking, right? You want to shag him or something. I'd have more respect for him. Is that what it is? Because I don't understand it. What more has this man got to do for you to realise? For you to realise, do you know what? I like him, nothing personal, but one thing I've learned in the last week or so, I've seen enough to know, as much as I like the man, he ain't the man for us.
Like I said,
hold your hands up. No one's gonna come at you, Terry. Do you know what I mean? But you said it must be that. I don't know what else it can be. Hold your hands up. We'd have more respect for you. If you turn around and went, I like him because he's good looking and I want to fuck him, yeah, right? Then I'll say, you know what, Terry? You're honest. Fair play. I don't know what it is. What is it? I don't know.
Like I said, what's happened over the last 2 legs? What's happened over the last 2 legs in the semi-final? I can understand why he would get the sack now. I can understand it, and I wouldn't argue the fact of that. I wouldn't argue the fact that. That's the thing. I wouldn't argue it, right? But I can't sit here now and say that they're going to sack him, right? Because I don't think they're going to sack him. And if they're not going to sack him, I'm still going to be behind him until Christmas next year. Like I've said, hold up. Like I said from the start, right? I've said this from the start. He needs to get out all these people from the club. And that's what happened 6 months early. I know the results ain't been good. We've been, you know what I mean, terrible this season. Terrible. And that semi-final, I understand why people want him out. I can't argue with that, right? But if they keep him in, I'm going to back him until then. I want to see the players what come in. And this is what I was trying to say earlier on. We've got, at the moment, we've still got a little possibility of trying to get into Europe, which ain't never going to happen in my eyes, right? We've still got a little chance, but I don't think we're going to be there. So now is the time for the Cronkies, if they're going to stay in this club, to step up, put their hand in their pocket and get us back up there. Because if they don't do that next season and they're still in our club, the Cronkies, not just Arteta, but the Cronkies, then we'll be going backwards and backwards, right? And let's be honest, apparently there was supposed to be a protest today. How many people turned up? 100 people. What we've been talking about over the last 2 or 3 weeks, Diesel? Doesn't matter.
That's our fan base. That is our fan base down to a T. We can't do what United did at Old Trafford, yeah? Right? Our fan base... What's that going to do with United? Our team, our club reflects the fan base. Soft, weak, brittle, pathetic, disgusting, spineless. Right? Right? That is our fan base. Yes, I will say it on this stream. I don't hide nothing, Tell. You know that. That is our fan base down to a T, unfortunately. Right? But don't let that deflect away from, what's going on here. Right? You said we need players. Of course, we all know that. But he's got enough there, right, to get better than 10th. He's got enough quality in that team to get better. We had 2 bites of the cherry, Terry, not 1 but 2. Right? Yep. And on both occasions, Tell, when we needed to see a little bit of character, there was nothing. They are not playing for him. Stan is always against me, right? With all due respect, right? When we're on streams. Yeah, because as he just said, he's not entirely Arteta out, whereas I always have been. Right? To hear the way Stan's talking right now, even Stan sees it. You are the only one, Terry. The only one.
Well,
yeah, I open your eyes and start fucking watching this now. Because it's bollocks. You can't defend man any longer. You are the Arsenal, Terry. Your man of your age should know fucking better.
I can't sit here. And say to you that if Arteta's not here next season, I won't get behind him. I can't do that. I could sit here and lie and be like other flip-flops and other people on channels and things like that. But I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm certainly not going to lie to other people. What I'm saying to you is, Stan, if he gets sacked tomorrow, I will understand why he's got sacked. That's what I'm saying. But there's still a little part of me, I don't know why, but come next season, if they do back him and he goes out and gets these players, there's something still telling me that he can still turn it around. I know I must be mad. I know, but what am I supposed to do with that feeling? Am I supposed to sit here and lie, Stan?
No, you've got to be true to yourself, mate. You've got to be true to yourself. And that's why I don't think that giving him money is the right thing, because it doesn't seem to, as I say, if he was playing with a structured team most of the time, you're not doing stupid things like, he was playing aubameyang through the middle, centrally, sticking with a formula, and we weren't doing so well, you could say to yourself, okay, we need better players. But he's constantly changing it around, changing from a back three, then it went to a back four. Playing Willian through the middle against Man City.
You're saying he keeps changing it around. You say he keeps changing it around. Let's go back to the beginning of the season when everybody wanted him to change it around. Everybody said, keep playing the youngsters. And then he played the youngsters, and then he's done that. These players,
he didn't choose to do that. He fell into playing the youngsters because he had to. Do you know what I mean? It's like he didn't choose to do that.
For one game, his hands were forced. That one game, his hands was forced. He played them, and then since that game, he's played them all the time. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that, Stan.
He wouldn't have sent Emile Smith-Rowe out on loan at the beginning of the season. He was a hair's breadth of not even being part of the team this season. Do you know what I mean? He could have been plying his trade somewhere else.
Well,
that was what Arteta's plan was. He planned for him to go away for this season. That was his plan.
Who said that?
That was the plan for Emile Smith-Rowe, but it didn't happen at the last minute. They couldn't find something, whatever. Sorry?
But where did we hear that? I didn't hear that.
Well, it's out there. It's out there, Terry. I'm not, I'm not pulling it out. I'm not pulling it out of the air.
Is it out there when Mustafi was going to sign a new contract? And, that Williams talking to what they called, out in America. Is that all out there again? That's what I'm saying. It's all paper talk at the end of the day. Bellerin, don't forget, just because he weren't playing him, every other team wanted him and he was going to go there. But he didn't. He signed the contract to play still for Arsenal. Why would he do that? Everyone was telling me that why would this geezer who's knocking in goals left, right, and centre, blah blah blah. Everyone's coming in for him. He can go to 100 clubs.
How is Danny Ceballos, right? How has Danny Ceballos got a fucking starting place in today's lineup in a dead rubber that don't mean nothing, and a player who's a player that's come out and said he wants to go back to Madrid? The English league don't even suit him. Yeah. Why would you continue with that guy? Why would you not bring up somebody like an Aziz from your academy and say, "We'll start in the pre-season early, son. You're going to get minutes today. Let's see how you go."
Stan, I could completely agree with you on that. Just because I like Arteta and whatever, I completely agree. This is what I'm saying. I go against him. I don't understand why Ceballos is playing today. I don't understand it. But how many times?
You react to what's you know what? See that? Yeah.
Yep.
Right. He would be disgusted, right, with all the shit that you're talking at the moment. Disgusted, Terry. Look, right, I'm telling you, he ain't the man. Not the man. Come on now. No.
You're the owner, right? There you are, right? You're the owner of Arsenal Football Club, right? And you've got Willian there, right? And so the first thing you see him do is that the guy that you're paying 350 grand a week with, whether you're an Ozil fan or not, for whatever reason, he makes a decision that for footballing reasons, he ain't gonna play him. And you think, all right, you're the manager, I put you in command. You think that's the right thing to do, all right. And then he comes to you, right, and says, right, we need to keep Aubameyang, right? We need to pay him over 300 grand a week because we need to keep him. And you go, all right, you sure about this? Yep, he's going to be our focal point. Okay, I'll sanction it. Approved. Give him the money. And then you sit back and you start seeing that he ain't playing him. He's taking him off in semi-finals. Do you know what I mean? When we need a goal. He's playing false nines and stuff like that. Surely you would be asking questions if you're the man that's writing the checks, right? That's approving these things. Surely you'd be looking down and thinking, this is a bit of a mismanagement going on here. He done it with the first guy that was earning 350 grand a week. Didn't want to play him. I went with that. Then he's come to me. He's asked me to pay this guy over 300 bags a week. We sanction it, and now he's fucking him about it as well. What is going on here? You've got to, if I'm going to give you the money, then you've got to use it right. But surely there'll be questions. Surely those questions at that level must be being asked, because I'd ask them. That's like 750 grand worth of stuff that he ain't been able to somehow integrate into the team. How?
Listen, I totally agree with you. I don't understand why I took aubameyang off during the week. I can't answer that one either. Why would you take aubameyang off, who's the only one that got 2 chances and hit the post? I don't understand that.
Again, you're the owner, right?
Oh, good goal. What a goal. Smith Rowe there with a goal.
I ain't got that yet.
Saka, good little cross in there and a good goal from Smith Rowe.
You sanctioned the transfer of Willian, right? Chelsea don't want to give him 3 years, but somehow he talks you into giving him 3 years and a 10 million signing on fee. And then you watch him for the season. He ain't even scored a goal in how many games? 30 odd games. Surely you'd be asking questions about whether he knows what he's doing. Surely that you'd ask questions, because
with Willian, it's a totally different thing. Obviously, when he first come in, let's be honest, all of us said he was their best player, Chelsea, the season before.
Hang on a minute. What did all of us say, Terry? I want to hear what it is that you think I said.
Yeah, he is one or two people say on Twitter, and he thinks the fan base does stand.
Even you said it's a good signing.
Oh, I did.
For a squad. No. I'm saying Diesel.
Oh.
Even Diesel did. That's what I'm saying. He was one of their best players. It hasn't worked out, Arsenal.
I never wanted him from day one. I never wanted him from day one. I thought to myself, why are we bringing in this geriatric for? What do you think he's going to be able to give us after? I said he may do something for maybe like the first 14, 15 months or something, but then what? It's going to be another Ozil sat there on like a lot of wages, and he ain't going to be able to do nothing with him, and there's no resale value.
How is he going to sit there? Because a lot of people, let's be honest, a lot of people now are saying he's going to America.
Hopefully,
for a season.
I really hope. I mean, if we can offer, if we can do that, then
as you say, Terry, paper talk, innit? Paper talk. When it's something negative about Arteta, it's paper talk, innit? Whenever it's something like this, then you read into it. Be consistent, yeah, right? Willian, yes, he's a very good player. I've said to you many times on this stream, yeah, right? You do not become a bad player overnight. He is a good player. He was in fact, the last season he was Chelsea's best player. Yeah, for some reason he's come to us. He's regressed. Thomas Partey's come to us. He's regressed. He can't even kick a ball at the moment. Yeah. What is that about, Terry? Are the players really that bad, or have you got to look at the coaching? You've got to, you've got Thomas Partey. Come on, we was all raving about, even not us, yeah. A lot of the fan base, right, made up a song and dance about the player. Not other clubs, by the way, but that's Arsenal. Yeah, he's come. He's not looked anywhere near the player we saw under Simeone at Atletico Madrid.
Because that is embarrassing. That's
what I'm saying.
That's not from us. Not from us. That's a totally different level.
Willian, we didn't need him, right? We didn't need him, yeah? If he was... I didn't agree with it if he was going to be a marquee signing. If we was getting Willian in, but alongside him we was getting 3 or 4 good players, then yeah, I'll accept that. But no way, Willian is the marquee. No, not having that. No, not having that. We didn't need him. Let's be honest, we don't need him, do we?
I have to agree with Diesel there about players regressing, because when Mikel Arteta was coming into Arsenal, one of the biggest things that that we were sold on, they sold him on, was that Man City, he's improved so many players. A lot of players really love the way that he's improved their gameplay. He couldn't improve Guendouzi, he just fucked him off. Couldn't improve Torreira, he just fucked him off. Hold on, Torreira speaks the same language as Arteta, right? How can you feel homesick when your manager speaks your mother tongue? He's fucked him off. I don't see him improving anybody at all. Who's he improving? And then what does he do with the money? He brings in geriatrics that don't need improving. He extends David Luiz's contract. He gives Willian a 3-year contract. There was talk about us looking at Sergio Aguero. I mean, it's not, I don't get it. I don't see what his plan is. I don't see who he's improved either.
Well, listen, that's what I'm saying. If it comes to next year, we will see him, won't we? That's what I'm saying.
Hang on. No. Touch on what Stan said. Don't just change the subject. Who has he improved?
I think he's improved Saka. I think he's improved Smith Rowe. I think he's improved.
I think those players are just improving themselves. They're just playing. Do you know what I'm getting at? They're playing where they are. But
hold on. So what you're saying? Then Emery done all that. Then Emery done all that progress. Then because
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
They can only improve if they're getting game time, which they are every game. When they're fit.
Some players have natural talent. You know what I mean? Some players have natural talent.
Unfortunately, how many games in a row can we play the same 11? How many games?
Danny Ceballos has been on for us for 2 seasons.
How many games?
How many games? Okay,
how many games?
Let's go through them.
How many games?
Frederick hasn't improved.
How many games?
How many games what?
How many games can we play the same 11 on a trot?
I still can't believe he's sticking up for Arteta. I just cannot believe what I'm hearing.
No, I'm not.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing.
I'm trying to give you other reasons and all. Pepe's just scored. Hold up. I just missed that.
I'm not even celebrating the goals, mate. I said to you, it's a no-pressure game, isn't it? They're going to turn up today because it's a no-pressure game. Fuck this lot. Fucking joke. While you're watching that, Zane, thank you very much, mate, for the donation.
What are you doing, Zane? Bloody hell. I ain't seen you for ages.
Yeah, Zane's like a boomerang, though. He always comes back in the end.
Oh, that's a good goal, though. That's a great goal.
Zane's put Arteta doesn't improve players. We should get Rodgers, who does. He can't improve Leicester anymore.
That's a nice goal, isn't it?
Good goal.
Yeah. I want to see that. I want to see something like that more often from Pepe.
The keeper, should the keeper have done better though?
Good shot though. What's your now that we've had Pepe for quite a while? Where do you reckon he's at, Pepe? What's your thoughts on him? I feel that sometimes he needs a bit of rhythm, and there's sometimes he just seems to find a little bit of rhythm, and then he gets taken out of the team.
I think he's much better on the right-hand side, and Diesel was the first one to say that. I must admit, I think he's much better on the right-hand side than
on the left. On the left.
Huh?
I think he's better on the left. Saka on the right.
Sorry. Oh, he's on the right today, then.
I agree, Stan. I think he's been mismanaged. If I'm honest, he plays well, gets dropped.
Yeah.
Plays well, gets dropped. Plays well, gets dropped. He's played under what, 3 or 4 different managers now. Yeah. When I watch Pepe, he frustrates me a lot because I know all the talent is there. I just get the impression when I watch him play, it's like he's got the handbrake on. It's like, you know what I mean? I want the manager who's going to say to him, do you know what? You've got all the talent in the world, right? Go out there and enjoy yourself. Because when we bought him, I saw him as like what, he'd have the same impact, a similar impact as what Eden Hazard had at Chelsea. That sort of player, yeah? And he's got bags of skill. He can dribble. He's quick. But for some reason, the handbrake's on. He doesn't take a man on. He used to do that in France. He used to do that for fun. He just passes backwards, sideways. He does we just saw that goal there. Brilliant goal. That is what he can do. But for some reason, he doesn't do it often enough. My whole thing, and I think I've been hoodwinked here a little bit, because I'm very judgmental of these players. But then the more I think about it, the more I think, do you know what? Some of these players are good. They're good players. I look at the coaching now.
Some of the coaching is too rigid, and players are having to keep into certain positions and keep a very rigid form of play under Mikel Arteta. And you can hear it when you in these stadiums, right? When you don't need a crowd, he's constantly barking at them all of the time, constantly. Danny, Willie. It's like he's micromanaging. He micromanages the shit out of this team, in my opinion. That's what it comes across like. And I think he may have tightened up the defensive part of our play, which did need it. But the rest of it now, it's just gone too rigid. Very, very rigid.
Do you get the impression, though, Stan, that with this manager, he focuses too much on not losing rather than going out to win?
Yeah, a little bit like Emery was as well. Yeah. And I think that when I have always preferred a team that plays with a back 4. When we went through that phase of playing with the back 3 / back 5, there was more fluidity in the team. It wasn't as rigid. Now that he's playing with the four at the back, sometimes with the 2 in front, it's very, very rigid.
Change the scoreline, Till.
Yeah, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I going back to Mikel Arteta, I honestly believe that when they were sitting down to choose a manager after Emery, when they were discussing Mikel Arteta, of all of the things that they probably thought that he could bring to the club, you know, you look at the pros and the cons of a person, I definitely believe that the highest pro, the biggest selling factor for the Cronkies was how cheap he was. 5 million. It's quite cheap, right? And the going rate. And then he took a discount in it with the COVID thing, so it's even less than that. Because if we got rid of him tomorrow, right, with that sort of money that they're looking at spending on a manager, what sort of territory for a replacement would we be looking at? Would we be looking at someone like Frank Lampard or Wayne Rooney at Derby? Where we could get a bargain for, because a lot of people wanted Jose Mourinho, but he got paid 30 million at Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? We ain't in that area of paying that kind of money. I think Brendan Rodgers gets about 15 million. We ain't in that area of paying that kind of money. So who do we bring in? Sarri, they're talking about, isn't it? Sarri gets about 4 million, 4 or 5 million. So that's probably why we've been linked with him, because it's around about the parity of what we're spending on a manager.
That's just paper talk again and all, Stan. Sorry, again. I just think it's paper talk again. Just quickly, if that is the original Chig, Gooner Eagle Eye, hope you're well, mate, and thank you for coming in the chat.
No,
sorry,
yeah, it is the real Chig. It is the real Chig, because he's one of our mods. Chig, pick up yourself, mate. I know you've not been well recently, mate. Yeah, I hope you're doing a lot better, yeah? Big up, mate. Big up. Love you. Nice one. Right, we've done the score, haven't we? 2-0, yep.
Yeah, I've done that, haven't I? Yeah. Oh, yeah, West Brom are relegated today, aren't they, if we win?
Are they?
Yeah, Gaz has just put it in all. I forgot about that. So Super Sam won't be keeping a team up from relegation. Cross Saka is in the box. Cross comes in. Oh, my God, Gabriel. Oh, it's gone for a corner. Come off a defender.
Come on, Chig. I'll jump on for 5 minutes in a bit. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah. I'll send you the link, mate.
Yeah. Go with him.
Eagles, just talk for a minute. Yeah, I'll send him the link.
All right, mate.
You know what? I forgot the burning question that I should have asked you right at the beginning of the show.
Hold on, Stan. Let me just do this. Just hold that thought for 2 seconds, mate.
Did you finish your bathroom?
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Don't even
Long story. Long story. Yes, Delwyn, mate, he is my dream manager. I get what Stan's saying, that we're not in the market for that, but it's funny because we're not in the market we won't pay top dollar for top managers, but we give out massive lucrative contracts to players who don't warrant it. Arsene Wenger got a bonus every year and a pay rise for failure. So we can splash the cash in one. Look at Ozil. So Aubameyang, William. So we can splash it in one sense, but where it really matters when we need to splash the money, we ain't got no money. Really?
I've sent it to you, mate. So just check your Twitter email, your Twitter inbox.
I just found that, Diesel, that apparently we're still paying 90% of Ozil's wages.
Yeah.
Fuck. We're in the wrong job, aren't we? We're in the wrong job.
I'll tell you what, you talk about that. I wouldn't mind 100 million for 4 jobs. Oh, Mourinho getting sacked and getting 100 million out of him.
Any opportunity to dig out Mourinho, isn't it?
100 million.
But T's right. I mean,
Diesel, what a job. 100 million for
you're defending this man that we've got here, and you're taking him off.
100 million.
I'll tell you what, Terry, we're talking different levels here.
100 million for getting sacked 4 times, Diesel. Would you like to get that?
He got 16 million.
Talk about the good he's done. Talk about the trophies he's won in multiple countries. But no, you won't talk about his successes. Yeah,
he's not
right. We beat Chelsea, right, in the Community Shield. You know what he done, Tell? With his runners up middle, threw it into the crowd. That is a man who says, "I don't take." Arteta would have cherished that for the rest of his life. That is the difference between those two managers. Telling you now.
Mikel Arteta would have got a bed in his.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Exactly. Ancelotti, right, the last club he was at before Everton, he flopped there. Does that mean Ancelotti's a bad manager now? No, he's a world-class manager. There you go. There you go. What I find funny is, right, you will defend this man. Yeah,
I'm talking about Mourinho.
Yeah, but you slag off Mourinho, right? Anyone talks about your hell, yeah, then you go into one. That's the difference, Terry. Yeah.
Oh my God. You defend
no,
Mourinho.
No. Your ambition's in the gutter, mate, and you need to get out of the gutter and quit, Terry. Do you know what? I can understand if you was 15, 16. I can understand it to a point. Man of your age saying all this. Terry, you've grown up with this team. You're accepting this.
What's got to do with Mourinho? The man of your age. Why are you defending Mourinho?
Because you won't say anything bad. You won't have anything bad said about Mikel Arteta. But you are quick to slag off a man, right? One of the most decorated managers in world football.
It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me, Diesel. If you're talking about Rocky and Tony Adams and everything like that, you talk about Mourinho in the same breath as them. It doesn't mean anything to me, Mourinho. Nothing to me whatsoever. But you defend him to the hell and back. I don't understand it.
Because he's done it, Harry. He's been there and done it. He's been there and done it. What is this manager of ours done? What's he done? Just for one day, the city the next day. That's Arteta.
He should have done that for Tottenham, and he didn't. Tottenham fans see it.
A wise man once said, Pep's Cone Man. Look at the picture. There you go. Pep's Cone Man.
What did I say to you and him? What did I say to you and him? He would not win anything at Tottenham. You two both said to me 100% he will do because of the man he was. You two both said that.
Terry. We never know. He might have won that.
He didn't. I didn't say you did, Stan. Oh. He didn't get to the final. They sacked him beforehand, Diesel.
Exactly. So we'll never know. But when he got to the final, I noticed you were fucking sweating on the string.
Listen. There's Tottenham fans out there. Tottenham fans out there saying that they wanted to lose that final, so we got sacked. Loads of Tottenham fans were saying that.
I'm telling you, your ambitions are in the gutter, mate. I'm sorry.
What's that? I don't understand what you're talking about. Ambitions.
If we got relegated, right? Would you still want this man? Would you still be? Well, there you go.
Would you still have the same passion for Mourinho? Would you still have the same passion for Mourinho if he'd done nothing for us as a club? Would you still have the same passion for him?
What do you mean? What do you mean if he'd done nothing?
If he come to Arsenal and he fucked us up like he has done
Terry.
Hold on, just answer the question.
No, I'm going to answer it, right? I'll do you one better. Who is my dream manager? Who's the dream I want? Who is my dream manager?
Come on.
I'm getting to your point. Right, thank you. Right. Did we do a stream once, right, where you asked me the question, if Simeone was here and he did fuck all for us, would I want him out? What did I say to you? Cool, I love Simeone to bits, but don't get it twisted. If he comes to Arsenal and he does nothing, I want him out. You know why? Because unlike you, Terry, the club comes first. Club will always come first.
Hold up.
That is the difference.
After a season and a half, or nearly 2 seasons, I don't think you would say that. Do you know why? Because like you've said before, he's got the experience, he's been there and done it, same as Mourinho, so I think you'd give him more time. Personally,
I want the Chelsea route, Terry. I like the Chelsea model. Right? I like that. People say it's not. Say that's where me and you differ. They're the most successful British team of the last 15 years. If it's a revolving door of managers, I don't give a toss. Yeah, right. Listen, Arteta's on £6 million a year. Not bad, right, for your first gig. Yeah. Can you honestly tell me now? Does he warrant that money? Is he earning his corn? Let's be honest. Is he earning his money? He's not. Is he? Stan, is he?
I just have to say. I mean, I don't understand how personally how anyone can actually think that an organisation and football club as huge as Arsenal is, it was a good idea to give them a manager that had never done a job before. I don't get that. I said I was 50-50 on him though, right? And I was backing him because he was the Arsenal manager. But I mean, it's a fucking gamble, right? It's a gamble giving that to someone that's never done it before. Do you know what I mean? You don't launch a fucking an ocean liner with a bloke that's only ever paddled around in a canoe as the captain. Do you know what I'm getting at? There's no Arsene Wenger. By the time Arsene Wenger came to Arsenal, he'd already managed in about 6 clubs, cut his teeth in different continents, picked up ideas along the way. Mikel Arteta is where Arsene Wenger was when he first started his career. Do you know what I'm getting at? But he's had a huge leg up, and it ain't working, man. It's not. It's not working.
I'm not saying it's worked. I'm not saying it's worked. I've never said it's worked. I've never said it's worked at all.
I mean, by the end of Emery, I mean, I backed Emery when he came in again because he was the Arsenal manager. I wanted him to do well, but by the end of it, it was terrible. You know, and I honestly have to say that Mikel Arteta has got a far better team than Emery did.
Thank you. Thank you, Stan. Facts.
Right? He's got a better team than Emery did, and yet his end results are worse. So I don't know, and that's just how I look at it. Do you know what I mean? And from my opinion, that's not good enough, man.
Okay. Chick, please put some facts into this man, please, Chick, please.
Listen, while Chick comes in, I'm going to nip off, right, for 10 minutes.
I say no problem, mate.
I've got to water some plants.
Anything like that, about 20 minutes.
Blimey, you guys fight like cat and dogs. That's a damn sure.
How you doing, Chick? First of all, how you doing, mate? We've heard
you well, man.
We just want to know you're well, mate.
Thank you, brother. I'm getting there. I'm going through a bit of a difficult time at the moment with an injury that 10 years ago I would have sprung from no problem. And old age is setting in a little bit, but
tell me about
it. We all know that, mate. Bloody hell, we all know that.
But no, yeah. Hopefully I'll get there. God willing, I'm on the right track. So yeah.
Well, when you need or anything, mate, just let us know. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. I'm probably the most qualified to kind of talk on this, only because I hate both motherfuckers so much. I can't stand Arteta and I can't stand Jose Mourinho. So I'm kind of like, fuck them both. But at the same time, listen, for me, I respect Terry a lot because I know he takes a lot of flack and a lot of the things that he comes out with, I must admit, I don't often agree with. But I must admit, in this particular instance, I'm also agreed. I'm not as convinced that Jose would have been this be-all miracle for us either, to be honest. I never ever thought that. I never thought that. Do I think he's more qualified than Mikel Arteta? Sure.
Yes.
But then I also think that 99% of the league is more qualified than Mikel Arteta to take his job. You know, I don't necessarily think that it makes him more suitable for the role. So I think the Jose myth has been put to bed with him being sacked by Tottenham, because I can't see a lot of Arsenal fans wanting Jose now, especially since he's been sacked by Tottenham. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if there's anyone that wants Jose now.
Well, there's one right at the top of the screen that would love to have.
No. Chick. Listen, right, it's nice to be able to talk to someone finally on there with some bloody intelligence, right? Now, let me just ask you this, Chick, yeah? Now, you were watching in the chat, right? I don't ever bring up Mourinho. I'm talking about Arteta, right? When Terry brings up Mourinho, yeah, then I look at it as thinking, blimey, this man, Terry's actually comparing both managers. Listen, I don't want either of them. My dream is Simeone, yeah? Right, if not, I would happily take Rafa, yeah, right. But if you're going to put me in a box where I've got to try and choose between Arteta and Mourinho, there's only one winner. I'm taking Mourinho all day long, yeah. But I'm talking about Arteta. I don't ever bring up Mourinho. That's what Terry does because he likes to deflect, right? I'm one of those people. Don't throw stones. Let's look at our own house before we start laughing at others. That's me.
Diesel. It's all right. This is the problem, Chick. See. The problem is that people, they hate it when they're wrong, right? They hate it when they're wrong.
I'll take Mourinho over.
Hold up. You said, let's be real. You said Mourinho was going to win trophies at Tottenham, right? You said it. Come out of your mouth. You got it wrong.
We've got a final, Terry. We'll never know, will we?
You was the one who brought up Tuku, right? So it's all right for you to bring up people and give your example. But when I do, Chig, you know what I mean? I'm always bringing them up. This is the problem.
3 or 4 year process, Terry. I'll give you an example of a manager who's transformed the team in the last 4 months.
Let me finish, Diesel. When I bring someone up, this is the problem, Chig. When I bring someone up, it's because obviously I'm talking about, you know what I mean? I'm trying to compare. But it's okay when they compare. But when they compare, I'm sorry, Chig. I think it's the light in my room for some reason with my green screen. I don't know what's going on today. There's all bits and pieces going on in the background. Sorry about that. But Chig, yeah, I'm just trying to say that, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to compare. That's all it is, mate. But when I compare, I'm not allowed to do that because I'm trying to deflect away from Arteta. But then it's okay for Diesel, or it used to be Claude, God rest his soul, or Stan and all that. They bring Tuchel up. Look at Chelsea. Look at Man City and things like that. So when they do that, I you know what I mean? I let them talk. I let them say that. But then when I go back to my thing, you always bring up Mourinho. Do you know what I'm saying, Chig?
Because he hasn't improved any players, Chig. This is what I'm saying. I look at Tuchel. I'm only using him as an example of a manager who's not bought any. He's not bought any players, Chig. He came in when Chelsea, let's be honest, they were on the floor under Frank. He's come in, and in a short time span, look what he's done to that team. That's
he hasn't done
hang on, Terry. Hang on, right? You had your say, right? So that should tell us fans. Blimey, there are managers out there, Chig, who can come to a club and in 2 or 3 months, right, can do the business off the pitch, right, and get a team sorted without spending anything on any new players, right? Whereas Arsenal, we're talking about 3-year process, 4-year process, 5-year process. This man's done it in 2 or 3 months. They're in 2 finals. Chig, am I wrong? Chig, am I wrong?
I must admit, the Chelsea one hurts. It does hurt because that's one where at the time we were 15 and we were crying. We were on our knees for a replacement for a manager. And for Tuchel to come in there and basically show Chelsea what to do, how to make them improve to the point where they're now in a Champions League final, that one does hurt. I must admit. It does hurt. The Chelsea example hurts a lot.
But the thing is, let's be honest here, Chig. If, say, for instance, I don't know, I mean, what's his name? Nagahel? How do you pronounce his name? Nagelsmann. If he goes there, do you think he possibly could have done the same as Tuchel? Do you think he possibly could have got him to the Champions League? Hold up. Let me just get my point. Here we go. Yeah, exactly, Diesel. It's all if and buts. All if and buts.
But you're about I'm talking about stuff that
no. What you do is, Diesel, is you take a positive situation like Tuchel going to Chelsea. It could have went the other way. Let's be honest, it could have went the other way. Then
what's it about Nagelsmann? Talk about the facts.
Beginning of this season, you and Claude all talk about Carlos and Mourinho, right? Carlos and Mourinho. Mourinho was the best thing since I played in November when Tottenham were winning the league. Right? They was winning the league. And all I got was Terry, my manager, Terry, my manager, Terry, my manager. And then it was Carlos because Tottenham started going downhill. And now you two, you don't even talk about them two anymore. You don't talk about them anymore, Diesel. It's Tuchel now. Tuchel's the best thing since sliced bread.
Terry, where are you at with Arteta? Sorry, I don't actually know.
With Arteta, Chig. Sorry, hold on, just 2 seconds before I answer that. Welcome on board, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn. I see you.
Yeah, no, go ahead, finish. I'm just sitting here in the dark. I don't give a shit.
Go on, Sal. Give Chig a laugh. Go on. Where are you with it? Go on, give him a laugh.
The other night, I was fucking fuming with him, Chig, to be honest. And I am still fuming with him. If he goes, then I've got no, I've got no qualms about that. If he goes.
Okay, that's good.
If you know, if he goes, I've
thinking.
got no qualms about it. But I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Are you in or out, Terry? Chig asked you, are you in or out? Not if you. I won't be upset if he gets sacked. Are you in or out?
If you let me answer the question, like you just said.
I'll answer it then, because we ain't all night, mate. We've got work tomorrow. Come on.
Right? At this precise moment, if they sack him, right? If they sack him, I will understand why they've sacked him, and yes, I'll be on board with that, and I will do that. But I'm not going to sit here and say there's not something inside of me, right? There's something inside of me still thinks that hopefully in the summer, if he gets the players that he wants, hopefully he can turn it around.
I need another flag.
Hopefully he can turn it around, Chick. There's still something inside. I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm not going to lie to other people like everyone else does and flip-flops just because they've got a YouTube channel. I'm being, to
be honest, I think, to be fair to you, I mean, that's a reasonable response. You're still a fan of the man, so it's not like you completely flip, like you've got some other idiots on massive accounts that are acting like, oh, I was never Arteta in the first. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Whereas, at least with you, you're acknowledging that, listen, I'm still a big fan of the guy. I still think he can turn it around. But if they decide to get rid of him, fair play. There's not a lot I can say. I think that's reasonable. To be honest.
Thank you, Chick. Thank you for, for someone that can understand why I'm doing that. I do believe in him. Do you know what I mean? I still think that he can do something. But if they do sack him, I understand why they've sacked him. He should have got us to the final. He should have done.
Oh, you guys done yelling? Hi, Stan. Hi, Chig. Diesel's having a smoke or going to the bathroom. I'm amazed you guys even have the energy to argue. As I'm watching the game, even when they score, I'm just like sitting there, like I don't care. I don't care. I'm still watching.
I've not watched one bit of the first half. I'll be honest.
I don't blame you. I don't even know why I'm watching it. I'm so disinterested. All it does is make me angry watching them. Terry, I've been trying to think positive like you. I've been reading the few people on Twitter who are defending Arteta, and I just don't see it. I don't see a man that, no matter who he has, can affect the game enough to make us a top 4 contender. He's out of his league for me, Terry. I wish I could see like you. I'm trying to see like you. But I can't. Wait, can I just say one other thing? I feel like the last thing. I feel like we're on a lifeboat, right? We were in this big accident, and all we see is ocean and no help, and it feels so hopeless. Because I don't think Arteta's getting sacked no matter what.
Glenn. Now, let's go back 2 years ago when you, Kenny Ken, all these other ones were saying to me about. No, I'd give Emery another season. I'd give him another season. I'd give him another season. Do you know what I mean? And I was saying to you, no, let's not do that. Let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of him now. He's not going to change anything. And you kept saying to me, no, I think he would do something. I'll do it. And we kept regressing. That was the same thing. We're in the same situation, but it's reversed, Glenn.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that.
At that point, did you want Arteta?
Sorry, Chick.
At that point, did you want Mikel Arteta?
I said I wanted Mikel Arteta when we got embarrassed in that final against Chelsea. We got embarrassed the other night, don't get me wrong. But I was Arteta in from that time when we lost that. Glenn will tell you, we used to go back a long time, me and Glenn, and same as Diesel and all that. That is when I was calling. That's what I'm saying. So I've been a big fan of Arteta's. So, what I mean? Like I said, I can understand if we get rid of him today or tomorrow or at the end of the season. I understand that. I will understand the reasons why. But I just can't turn something off. So I don't know what it is. And I think sometimes I am mad myself. But there's still something inside of me saying that I think if he can get the right his players that he wants in, get them in, get a proper pre-season under the way, hopefully, obviously, I'd be hoping that he can do something, turn it around and still be our manager. But if he's not, then I will understand why, Chick.
I'm smiling. One sec, Chick. I'm smiling because I'm thinking of when we first hired Arteta, and Claude said, "Just because you put out cones for Pep doesn't mean you can manage Arsenal Football Club." And I remember telling him, "You are the grumpiest, nuttiest person I've ever met." You were right, Claude. That's it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chick.
Yeah, I think my only worry about this whole is whenever somebody says, "Oh, well, we should give him another season, another summer of the transfer window," is, all right, cool. Well, we've seen evidence, regardless of circumstances, we've seen evidence of this not working. So if you give him another summer where it doesn't work again, how long is it going to take a new person to fix all this?
Exactly.
Whereas now, you're in a situation where you can say to yourself, all right, well, let's see what options are there out there. I don't know, Rafa, maybe a few others that might be out there. Analyze them, look at them, consider them against Arteta, and then really ask yourself what is best to take this club forward. In my view, regardless of how I feel about Arteta, I think an experienced hand is required to not only sort out these players, but to move the club forward, at least on the pitch. We can't do shit off the pitch. We can only handle what's on the pitch. An experienced hand is what I want to see at the club. That's my personal opinion.
I can't shake the feeling. I can't shake the feeling that if we hired an experienced manager instead of Arteta, we'd be playing West Brom right now in a top 6, maybe a top 4 race. I think Arteta's cost us a lot of points this season.
Right, Glenn.
Like I said to you, Glenn, like I said, all I'm trying to say is that I was trying to say earlier on, but every time I try and give an example, I get shouted at and shouted down, Glenn, and say, no, I'm not allowed to give an example because we've got to look at the positive example and not the negative example. And that negative example is we could have got that experienced manager like Mourinho, like a lot of Arsenal fans.
I didn't want Mourinho. I want to be on the record right now that I didn't want Mourinho. And
we would have only been 4 points better off. We would have only been 4 points better off. So why can't we look at that side of it too?
I don't have an answer for you.
That could happen then.
I don't have an answer for you. I feel like a traitor watching this game and being totally unemotionally involved. They scored it, and for the first time ever, I didn't even do anything. I watched them score. I'm like, yeah, all right.
But Chick, let me ask you that then. So what happens if we do go out and get that experienced manager, and that experienced manager does basically what Mourinho done at Tottenham? Then what?
But that's the chance you take.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the chance you take.
No, that is the chance you take.
But Terry, you can say that about anybody.
Anyone.
You can say that about anybody who's literally the most qualified person in the world on paper. You know, they're there, they're ready for the Arsenal job. They come in, and for whatever reason, it does not work. Exactly. Do you know what? I'll even go this step further with you, Terry. It would not surprise me if Arteta becomes a successful coach in the future, maybe in 10 years' time. Maybe in 10 years' time.
You broke up then. You broke up. I didn't hear what you said at the beginning. Say that again. Sorry, mate.
Maybe in 10 years' time, Arteta becomes a successful coach in the future. Yeah. Clearly, there's something that people like about him. So who am I to say that is impossible, that happens? But for whatever reason, I'm talking about right now. This job was too big for him right now. He was unsuitable to be hired for this job right now. So right now, for his own career, apart from anything else, put the man out of his misery. So then he can go and do what he needs to do to learn the trade. What was it Pep went and did? I swear Pep, after Barcelona, went and took this sabbatical where he went and started learning the trades of various different countries after Barcelona. Then all of a sudden turned up at Bayern Munich and became the complete manager that he is right now. Who's to say that won't happen to Arteta? But right now, we need to move on from this. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and if we do, like I said, I can't have no arguments with that, Chick.
It's just that I've gotten to the point with Arteta where I realize he's a great speaker, but I don't believe anything the guy says anymore.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a whole bunch of money to spend in the summer. Oh, bite me!
Man should be selling timeshares. I've got a week.
He's very, very intelligent. Presents himself very, very well. You know, with the Gucci jumpers and all that. and you know, he speaks that those are the sort of things that people don't trust. Because when I saw his first press conference, I'll be honest, I was hoodwinked. I was like, shit. All right, I went for this appointment, but after hearing you speak, I'm more confident. And when I started to see that there was a pattern where the motherfucker was talking but weren't following through, then I started thinking, oh, okay, you're one of them. And that's where I started to form an opinion about Mikel Arteta. You talk the talk.
My exact thing too. I did not want him. The first time he spoke, I'm like, that's everything I want to hear. You know, and
you know what, boys, right? Yeah, right. Very quickly, right? And I mentioned this on a previous stream. Do you know what I don't get about a lot of Arsenal fans, right? And you boys are right, yeah, because a lot of fans, right, done a complete 360, right, when he done his first press conference. And I remember on the stream, I said, you know what? Why does no Arsenal fan talk about Emery? Because for me, Emery's first press conference, this is a man who did not speak one word of English, right? But he refused to do it in Spanish, right? And he done it in English, and I thought he pulled it off. I thought he did really well. Do you know how hard that is, your very first press conference, in doing it in a language, right, that is alien to you. But you know what? No one talks about that. That, for me, was more impressive than this man. But it just goes to show, you know, man.
I don't think he gets enough credit for that.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets...
I'm the other way around, right? Because when we first appointed Emery, I didn't know who he was, and I saw that picture of him. Do you remember there was that famous picture of him? He's got like a nice suit on, sideways, holding a football, an old leather football, and behind him there's all these tactics on the board. And I remember looking at that picture and thinking, oh, that's some of that. He looks like he knows what he's on about. And then he opened his mouth at his first press conference, and I was just like, oh dear, this is not gonna end well. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't understand much of what he was saying.
And Chig, I don't know if you agree with this. I said this to Terry, right? As angry as I was when we got knocked out by Villarreal, there was a little part of me, right, that felt that did think, do you know what, Emery, good on you. Because these players, let's have it right, they took the piss out of him. His accent in training, right, they took the right piss out of him. And do you know what, that was his little bit of revenge to say, yeah, there you go. Do you know what, there was a little part of me that I thought, you know what, fair play to you, brother, fair play to you.
I literally said that. I literally said that in my preview. That there was a part of me that looked at Emery because he was so classy that day as well.
Yeah,
he's not like he was. You know, you could have really Jose that occasion up, and he didn't. He was so classy. Went down the tunnel. It kind of gave a kind of like a riot kind of smile. I said, you know what? Well done. You did well. You did well. You didn't even look close to losing that game. Not even close.
Did you know as well that Mesut Ozil put a tweet out about the match, and he started the tweet "good evening," and I thought, you know what I mean? I was a little bit like a bit of a. There's no need to go there, right? It's supposed to be like a player, right? Have a little bit of respect, and I do feel a little bit that I feel a bit like Unai Emery was kind of hounded out a little bit.
Yeah,
you know? He was.
And his levels above this, man.
Like the press, you know what I mean? The press and everything just kind of hounded the guy out a little bit. And I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased for him. Do you know what I mean? He's quite a dignified guy.
No, I liked him. I did. For me, I think I always said he was a good coach. It was just, in the end, it was good communication issue. Simple as that.
You know, you can go out, like you said earlier, about just going out and getting an experienced manager, but sometimes it has to be a good fit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And sometimes Emery just wasn't a good fit. I'm not sure if Arteta is, but circling back to what you said about Jose Mourinho, the reason that Tottenham, Daniel Levy appointed him is because they wanted to win trophies. So it is hard to understand why when he got them to a cup final, they got rid of him the week before.
Oh, something obviously went on. Something's gone on. Yeah, you don't sack a manager a week before a final. Something went on there that we're not privy to. I'll put money on that.
Because he was on his way to fulfilling the request, right? They wanted some silverware. He's got them to.
It was always a strange appointment though, because you couldn't imagine those two getting on. Like I don't know about you guys, I could never imagine Levi and Jose getting on. It was always a weird partnership to me, that one. Never made much sense.
No,
not good fit again.
I couldn't understand either, to be honest. And I mean, come on, as fans, right? As fans, when a manager was at Chelsea and said he would never go to Tottenham to manage and basically laughed at them and then ended up there, how did fans forgive him? How did fans forgive him?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. No, come on. That's disgusting.
But George Graham, he done the same thing, Terry. But
I don't care about George Graham.
I still love George Graham. You know what I mean? You have to work, mate.
He didn't come to Tottenham to Arsenal.
It's no different to us.
It was the other way round to Arsenal first. So I don't care for me. I don't care. That's a different situation. But
I think in the manager's mind, they can say something like that, but then down the road, if they get sacked, then it's like, well, you sacked me, all bets are off. I can do what I want. I can go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
you know what I mean? If you say something like that and you leave in a good way, then it's bad, right? You know, I never play for them. I never manage them. And you leave your club in a good way, natural cycle, and then you go and manage them. That's bad. But if you've been sacked, it's kind of like a fuck you.
You know what I mean? I mean, Cesc has said that. You know, Cesc has said that about Chelsea before, that you've never played for Jose Mourinho. And then, you know, a couple of years later, I'd tail between his legs, playing for Jose. You know, football's tribal. You say what you say. It is what it is. Circumstances change, though.
To be fair, though, right, Chig, yeah, the thing with Fabregas, I don't blame him entirely for that, because he wanted to come back to us. Wenger didn't want him. And when you look at he passed him up, and I thought, hang on a minute, we've got Flamini in the middle, yeah? You're passing up Cesc Fabregas, right? And that was Cesk's way of... Because he's always said Wenger was like a father to him, right? So to have been spurned like that, I'm that kind of person. Do you know what? You don't want me? Watch. You don't want me back?
I think
that's me.
I think it was just bad timing because we just recently got Ozil, right? If we had,
he's a world-class player, Stan. You make room for a player like that. You know what I mean? If we'd had better than him in the midfield, I understand your point. We didn't. There's no excuse.
I think at the time, Ramsey was in good form. Ozil wasn't in bad form as well. I knew we weren't going to get him.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we were quite blessed in midfielders at the time, so I knew we weren't going to get him. It's a shame because I still think you would have added something to our team. I always liked Cesc. I know that some people hate Cesc because of the way he went. I know Claude was one of them. Claude never forgave Cesc. Never forgave Cesc. Yeah. But no, I always quite liked him myself. So yeah.
Oh, it's the same with Van Persie. I quite like him still. You know what I mean? A lot of people hate him because he went to United. But you know, if you go to the board and you say to him, look, tell me what your plans are for next season, and I'll stay. Who you're going to buy to complementary to help the team forward to help win trophies and that. And I still
don't completely believe him. That's my problem with Van Persie. Something about his excuses don't make sense to me, especially based at the time of when I was reading them stories.
But
you sure?
But the thing is with that, Chig, is that why didn't we do that? Why didn't Wenger do that? Why didn't Arsenal do that back then? Because that's why Ferguson was so great as a manager. Every season, he'd go out and get that one marquee player to win him the league next season. And that's what he done with Van Persie. He come and took him, and what did he do? He won the league with him that season.
So, yeah, he's justified. That's how I look at it. He's justified.
Yeah, well, you mean, for Man U. Yeah.
You leave Arsenal, and in your first season, you win a Premier League title, you're justified. Yeah? I was spitting feathers about Ashley Cole, right? Look at what he's done at Chelsea. He's justified. I'm sorry. You know,
it's the same thing as if we would have bought Suarez off of Liverpool that season. If we would have bought him off of Liverpool that season, we would have won the league no problem.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly do. I honestly think so.
Yeah,
I think he was definitely identified as the missing link between us and the title.
Substitution: Martinelli for Lacazette.
But for me, this is what I always say, Big. For me, this is when our problem started for our football club, was when we went undefeated. We went undefeated that season, and the season after, he more or less depleted that complete team, Wenger. And then from then, we did not do like for like on every single player that we sold.
Yeah.
That's where our problem started.
You'd think that when you go undefeated, that's when you build on it, right? That's the time that
went 5 or 6 seasons. Yeah,
build on it.
It was not only the fact that he took the team apart, but the whole mentality changed. Like he went away from that physicality that brought us to the table to just all of a sudden these 5'0" just technical players. It was just like, hold on, why have we completely abandoned what brought us to the party here?
Yeah.
The whole ethos changed, and it was so confusing. But I could see what Wenger was looking at the time. He was looking at Barcelona, thinking, "Oh,
Exactly.
I can recreate a B-Tech version of that," and never quite got there.
Yeah. He wanted to do that with Poundland money. That's what it is.
2 seconds, Steve. This super chat's been up for ages.
Yes,
Mikel the Clan. Thank you, Mikel the Clan. He says,
great name.
You have a free ticket. You have a free ticket to my circus, only the deluded get in free. Thank you very much. I will be there. Not a problem.
He's there already, mate. Don't worry about that. Go on. He's the main act. Go on.
No, that's what I'm saying. You know, that's for me is when we started going backwards, and we haven't recovered since then, Chig.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame the way we've seen Arsenal decline over the years, and there seems to be no. I'm worried that we're not stopping just yet, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
You're exactly right, Chig. For me, if they don't put their hand in their pockets this summer to get us back up there, then all I can see is doesn't matter if it's Mikel or not in charge. It could be an experienced manager with the players and the team that we've got. We will only be going backwards. Yes, he might be able to maintain getting in the top 6 or whatever, an experienced manager, but we won't be competing for top 4. No way.
Look, what? Because I haven't caught a show from you guys in a bit. Because for whatever reason, your thing doesn't suggest your show anymore on my feed. So I always forget that you guys are on. But what is your opinion on Daniel Ek for you guys? What are you thinking? Are you encouraged?
I don't think it matters who comes in with an offer. Me personally, I don't like it, but I don't think they're going to sell. I really don't think they're going to sell, Chick. The thing is if you look at it from if you take sentiment out of it, you take football out of it, you take the badge out of it and things like that, the Cronkies are billionaires for a reason. They're billionaires for a reason because they're good at what they do. They're good at business. If they do it backhanders or whatever, I don't know how they got their money in the first place. I don't care. They're billionaires, so that they're good at what they do. They're good at making money. So why are they going to accept someone that's just come in from out of the blue that's apparently putting in 1.8 billion when at the beginning of the season I was seeing figures of 2.3, 2.4 billion? So why is he just going to accept the first offer?
I suppose so. I think there are circumstances that go into that. So, like, for example, I think if you're recently kind of like looking at the situation with this whole European football Super League thing, you might have been really relying on the finances of the back of that. So they might be thinking to themselves, do we cut our ties here, knowing that realistically nothing will happen within the next 5 years or so? The other thing could be Arsenal are not in Europe. So as a financial commodity, they are much, much less than they were 6 months prior to that, when they could have potentially had Champions League football. So these are the only circumstances where I think to myself, maybe. You know, if they put in, I can't see it going below 2 billion. Yeah. So if they went 2 billion, and let's just say they had a consortium where they could do that, 2 billion, do I see it being impossible? I don't see it being impossible. And I think, you know, with the new owners, you get rid of the manager, have a new manager in there, completely start afresh. That's the only way I think all of us as fans will unite behind this team and say, right, okay, let's do this. And I hope that happens. I hope that happens.
They've done the right thing to start off with, in my eyes, Cheek, and that is obviously the first thing he done was he's gone to Bergkamp, Henry, and Vieira, 3 club legends. Do you know what I mean? And got them talking and interested, and that obviously spice up things because a lot of let's be honest, I would say most Arsenal fans would love them three to be involved somewhere along the line of that, what the legacy there is. So to start off with, he's already started on the front foot really well. Because if he didn't have them three, and they weren't involved in it, what would your thoughts be then, Chick?
Well, that's the thing. You're right, because it wouldn't be that hopeful, to be honest.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
How does he get those three involved? Does he already know those three? Is it a case of, he gets his people to speak to their people? Hi, you don't know me. I own Spotify. Would you be interested? And
it does legitimize it, though, don't it? So
yeah, but I mean,
it goes
let's say you woke up tomorrow morning and Daniel Ek was the new owner. What would be the three of their roles? Bergkamp, Henry, and Vieira. What would be their role? Would one of them be the manager, and one of them be a director of football, and one be a coach? Well, we know Bergkamp's not going to be the manager because he ain't flying nowhere. Right? So we know that his job will be back at base somewhere. Both Vieira and Henry, they both seem to be in a place in their careers where they still want to coach. They still want to be in that area. So would it be like a double act as head coaches? Where would they fit into this structure?
Just quickly, Stan, it's 2-1. West Bromwich Albion just scored.
Oh, I just saw it go in the net.
Yeah.
Just looked up and saw it.
Who scored from them?
Pereira.
But I do think it's really possible. And I'll tell you why. I think that had the Super League proposal gone ahead, with the amount of money that would have come into Arsenal through that, those kind of people at some point, say maybe 24 months down the road, because the value of Arsenal would have gone up just merely by what is coming in. That's when you look at an exit strategy. So if that's now off of the table, what's their other option? They bought it for what? They bought it for what? $1 billion? Would 1.8, 2 billion be worth an exit strategy? Because that's a nice profit. And if the fans keep up their heat about not wanting them there, maybe it will be like, well, fuck it, they don't want us here, and we can make a nice profit out of it. I think it's possible it could happen. And you look at someone like Daniel Ek, and people go, well, he's only personally worth 4 billion. If it's going to cost 2, it doesn't work like that. He doesn't look at his bank. Yeah,
football don't work like that. Yeah,
he doesn't look at his bank account and go, right, if I buy Arsenal tomorrow, I'll only be worth 2 billion. He'll get loans from banks. That's how banks work.
If he's ready to buy that club, he'll find that money.
Exactly.
Don't look at his personal worth.
Yes.
And think, oh, well, he's not worth very much. Look, how could he afford it? When you're that kind of rich, shit like that don't matter.
Yeah.
Shit like that does not matter. That's why I keep telling people. Don't look at things like that.
Yeah.
But
don't forget. Oh, go on, Chick. Sorry, mate.
No, all I was going to say was I could see them just playing something like kind of director roles, board roles, that sort of thing. Maybe just making up titles for them. Quite honestly, I'd hope that we won't get into a situation where, if we do hire a coach and for whatever reason it doesn't go right, then, you'd hope that someone like Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira don't just bully their way onto the kind of coaching setup. I would hope that doesn't happen. But you never know with Arsenal. You never know. But I would hope we would be in a situation where we'd be a lot more secure. And I think, with Thierry, I'd like to think that he's a little bit more honest with himself, coaching-wise. Maybe it's not for everybody, But maybe he just wants to be in football, involved in football, and not necessarily as a coach. And I think maybe this gives him an opportunity to do that, especially for a club that he absolutely loves that made him. I would love that. I would love that for him. I just want us to improve so badly. I want us to move on from this. We tried the experiment. I knew it wouldn't work. It didn't. Let's just move on from this. That's all I want. I think for me now, it's just about viable candidates. And, I can imagine all of us with YouTube channels now will be making videos frantically about, who could be the realistic candidates to take over from Mikel Arteta should we make that change.
Just to add to that, though, Chick, Stan, that, you know, just because we're not in the Super League ain't gone ahead now, don't think that ain't going to go ahead in the future. I mean, you know, they already said this has been in the planning for 3 years. And not only that, since I've been, you know what I mean, growing up and know about football, there's been talks about the Super League for years and years and years.
Yeah, for years. For years.
So just because we're not in it now doesn't mean we're not going to go in it in the next year or the year after. So, you know, they might even wait until then if they wanted to sell it, and, you know.
And to be honest, didn't you find the statement the other day very, very interesting when they came out and they said Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, they all came out and said, well, we're still about this life. Just so everybody knows, we're still about this life. So that in itself told me that they're prepared to brave it, front up the criticism. All they need to do is just clean up the idea, clean up the plan, and they'll be good to go.
Exactly. Well, I was shocked, Chig, to be honest, that fans were shocked that this all come about. I think that fans really should have protested about the relegation and promotion of it, because apart from that, really, the Super League was a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Can I just get one thing straight? Can I just get one thing straight? Because a lot of people get this confused of what was happening. I think a lot of people thought this was going to take away the Premiership. It had nothing to do with the Premiership. It was to do with the Champions League. That's all. And people kept saying, when were the games going to be played and things like that. It was to replace the Champions League. Nothing to do with the Premiership. They didn't want to come away from the Premiership. Nothing to do with that whatsoever. It was solely to replace the Champions League.
I did not get all the uproar. I did not get the uproar.
But then you're not winning. You're not finishing. You know, you're going through your season in the Premier League, and you've taken away now. You know, for Arsenal now, that if we were in the European Super League, basically, we would be like, can we win the Premier League? No. Okay, we just play football now because we're in this European Super League, come what may. We're not battling to get second, third, or fourth, really. It doesn't matter. It's either win the league or you don't win the league. And then you get to the stage where you'd water down your Premier League games by saving your players so that you can dance with, you know, Real Madrid and Barcelona in your midweek ESL game. Because qualifying now for the Europa League and the Champions League, that'll be gone. Yeah? So in the Premier League, it's basically, can we win it? Once you realise you can't win it that season, that's it, isn't it?
That's the way. That's the way it happens.
When you don't get relegated, then that's it.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
That'd be boring.
But no. But that's what I'm saying. You'd have to bring. That's what we should have protested about, to bring the relegation and promotion in. If they would have done that from the start,
but then it's the Champions League. It's the same.
No. It is, but it's a different version, because what it is you only win 120 million now for the Champions League. This one was offering you 400 million if you won it, plus the TV rights. I mean, what a lot of people don't seem to realise is that Sky have got it sewn up over here. Sky have got it sewn up over here, and you can't do anything unless Sky tell you what to do and what you can't do. And yet Sky were the ones that were whipping everybody up, whipping all the fans up to get this stopped. Why did they want to get this stopped? Because they would have all had their P45s. Sky would never have won it in the first place. And then what happened? When Man United fans stopped that game against Liverpool, they started to turn Sky presenters. You know what I mean? They started to turn, even though they whipped everybody up a couple of weeks beforehand. That's what you've got to remember. Is that I mean, this is a totally different. I mean, this conversation needs to be had on a different stream, really, because there's so much in-depth conversation that needs to be had about it. Because Sky were the ones that took this away from the working man people with the Premier League when they done it in '92. Yeah. When they done it in '92, they took it away from working man football to a international sport. And people don't like it now.
Yeah, pay-per-view.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel, Chick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, similar to you. I think from my perspective, it's one of those ones where you could talk all day about it. Do I think? Don't get me wrong. There's some dodgy shit to it, and I think as long as you can clean that up and you can make that transparent as possible, or palatable as possible for people to be like, okay, and accept it, then I think you could do it. At this moment in time, no one is on board with that American system of, well, you just play a competition regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
There's no relegation, there's no consequences, there's no nothing. Which,
That was
if you're an American, this sounds like a normal thing. But for us, from a European standpoint, we're used to playing sports where there's some kind of consequence for that particular season. And that's what didn't sound so weird to us. It was like, what, so you just play this and then that's it? So,
and that's the reason why a lot of Americans I know love football so much, because of what's involved. You know, there is more jeopardy involved.
Yeah.
Just quickly, Randy Viper's put super chat. What does Terence? Only Diesel and the missus calls me that. Randy Viper. I don't like. No, I'm only joking, mate. Terence rates Ricardo's new pit. I haven't seen it, mate. So if he shows it, then I'll let you know, mate. Have you seen it, Diesel?
It's there. Wearing the mask, isn't
he? Come off for Thomas Partey.
Is that the picture? I don't know. What am I supposed to say about it? I can't see anything. It's just a mask, really, Ricardo.
No, if you look closely, I think on the front of the mask, you've got Arteta out. And you need to apologise to Emery, something along the lines of that.
Is that what it says? Well,
yeah.
There you go.
There you go, mate. There you go. But yeah, from what a lot of the guys in the chat are saying, West Brom are dominating. Woo!
I haven't seen. To be honest, I haven't really been
back.
You know, I still don't have a game on. I should really put the game on.
I'm not even watching it, Chig, if I'm honest. It's just hard.
I don't care because I'll see something that'll piss me off. And then I'm like, why am I watching this again?
Good question, Conwiz, quickly. Guys, Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo. Thoughts?
I didn't see it. No.
Play that how I thought it was.
Chig, you're in Kenya. Well,
play that how I thought it was. Listen, I like Billy Joe. I think he's a good fighter. But you don't do them things to Canelo and not get banged out.
No. Exactly.
And that's basically what happened. It wasn't even close. Just was what it was. Really. But yeah, he'll be all right.
For me, Chick, because I know you're a massive boxing fan. I mean, I'm a big boxing fan, but I know you watch it religiously and that. And I'll see the highlights of it. I watched every round and that. But do you know what really gets on my nerves about boxing? That's why I went over to UFC. Is that you got the two massive fighters in the ring. For me, surely Billy Joe Saunders, if I was his trainer, I would be saying to him, look, you've got to be going out there and winning every round, because if you leave it to the scorecards, right? The scorecards, the judges, especially in ever like these countries and that, are going to give it to the champion.
Oh yeah.
They're going to give it to the champion. And for me, in every round, I don't think Billy Joe done enough. Even if he did win the fight.
Do you know what the secret is? Win the last 90 seconds of each round.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what championship fighters do. They focus on the last 90 seconds of each and every round, so that even if it looks like you've been smacked for the first half of that fight, by the time you finish that round, it looks like you've been dominating that fight. And like you say, there was no time. First of all, I thought Billy Joe started too slow, so automatically I knew he was going to lose. Then he had a good 5th, 6th round where I thought, okay, he's putting some combinations together, and then by the time it got towards the end and his eye became a factor, I thought, okay, well this is a waste of time, and the fight was over. So yeah, I weren't that impressed. I thought he'd perform better. To be fair, I knew he weren't going to beat Canelo, but I thought he'd perform better than he ended up doing.
I don't know if you got the same sort of feeling, but for me, it looked like I just thought Canelo was just biding his time for the right moment, and that's what he did.
Yeah. He wanted to hurt Billy Joe as well.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought he let Billy Joe do all his little antics, and in that last round when he did hurt him and caught him with a great punch to the eye, which obviously stopped the fight, that's when he was cheering on the crowd, getting, you know what I mean? And that's when he knew that that's when he knew Saunders weren't going to come back from this.
Side note, guys, just very, very quickly. Would you take Pereira?
Pereira?
Yeah.
Leicester, sorry.
West Brom.
West Brom.
No, West Brom.
Yeah, I think this could be a draw as well.
Would you take him for Arsenal?
For me personally, I would have to say I haven't seen a lot of him. Enough of him to say that. That's what I would have to say.
What's his position, Chig?
See, that's what I was going to ask you guys, because I thought it looked like a kind of a number 10-ish sort of role, and obviously we're looking for something like that, aren't we? So I was wondering if you guys would take him.
Nah, we can get better, mate.
He does score a lot. He scores a lot for West Brom. A lot. Does get a lot of goals for West Brom.
Do you know that? I don't mind the play Buendia. But I like him, you know. I'm not going to lie, I do.
I'm with you. A lot
of people think because they play at these lesser clubs, you know, it's a double-edged sword. You know, some people say, yeah, but he's doing the business at Norwich. Can he do it at the Arsenal? But then I'm in the camp where I think, well, hang on a minute, at a bigger club around better players, right? Who's to say?
We're not in Europe. This is our market. Straight up. This is where we need to be shopping.
Look at Maguire. He was at Hull, right?
And I'll take Max Aarons while I'm there and all. Yeah.
And Maguire was at Hull. Who was the other one? Robertson. Where was he? He was
Robertson. He was at Hull when they got relegated.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's worked so well for Liverpool over the last 3-4 years. If you notice, that's all they do is buy English talent. That's all they do.
I would have bought Grealish 3 years ago. Diesel knows that. I've been saying this for years. And Diesel was what's his name? The other one.
I never liked it. I didn't like him, did I? I
mean the other one.
I held my hands up. I didn't like. I thought he was a big fish in a small pond. I thought, nah. The more I've watched him, the more I thought, you know what? That is one player who has shut me up. I'm not going to lie. He has.
Grealish.
Yeah. He shut me up.
Yeah, me too. I must admit, the first
3 years ago,
I was like, nah. But I must admit, consistency. He's been so consistent. I like him.
You know what I love about him more than anything, Jig, is that he's a nasty bastard, but a clever one. He's a clever one. Do you know, like them players you used to play against, like what's his name, Costa for Chelsea and things like that. I mean, you know what I mean? He's one of them. Like he gets away with it. No, I don't know how he gets away with it all the time.
Which is why he's the most fouled.
I just like the way he rallies the team. The way he kind of grabs the team and just drives that, says to the team, all right, let's all fight together. Fuck me, we need more of them type of players. We need more of those sort of players.
I like the way he carries that team on his back.
Yeah.
Week in, week out.
Yeah.
You know? Do you know what? Bissouma, this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. You know, we're not asking for, like, top £80 million players. I look at Bissouma. I've watched him all season. Can someone honestly say to me, right, he's not going to jump at the chance of a move to the Arsenal? I still think it might just be me. I still think we've got that pull. I really do, right? Yes, we're poor on the pitch, but we are still the Arsenal. We are still a player of Bissouma's quality. One phone call. What, you're telling me you ain't going to take that call? Right?
One from Norwich as well.
He's an Arsenal fan. Todd an Arsenal fan.
Todd Cantwell as well from Norwich. He's an Arsenal fan as well. Todd, decent player.
I'm telling you. But you know what we'll do? We'll diver and allow another club to come in and steal them. That's what we do.
No, we won't. We'll go out and we'll bring in another aging player on a free. Free. It's on loads of money each week. That's
or a youngster stand. Oh, in 5 years, the potential. That's all I've ever heard. Potential.
Yeah. What's your verdict on Leno?
We sold the wrong keeper, Chig, and that still burns me, man. And as a result of that, I judge Leno. I'm harsh on him because I'm thinking you have taken the place of the man I wanted. Well, it's not fair, but I do look at him and think, you know what? Oh, man.
I'm a fan. I
knew it was...
For 25 million, I think that's what you got, what you paid for, and I think he's not bad. However, he is going through some bad form at the moment. But if he's turning around and saying that he wants to leave, then go. If his heart's not in it, I hate it when players say, "I'm leaving because of my Champions League football." Well, why couldn't you get us there?
Exactly.
Why didn't you know?
Did he come out and say that? Did he come out and say that?
Yeah, I hate it when players say that.
What did he say?
European football and that. So I prefer a player he's going to stay and try and do the job and get us there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quiet as a mouse on the pitch, Stan, but he says a lot off it, though, doesn't he? Do you know what? I would rather play Matt Ryan in front of Leno. I would. That was another wrong call.
I was reading that. Looking at the guy from Ajax, Onana, the goalkeeper, 7 million.
Yeah.
I think I think we're being a bit harsh, to be honest. If we look back, I mean, he's kept us in some games, Leno.
Say again?
I said I think we're being a bit harsh on Leno. I think if we look back over the games that, you know what I mean, I think he's kept us in a lot of games.
Yeah, I agree. I just think he's going through a bit of bad form at the minute. I like him. But if he doesn't want to be here, then see you later. There's the door.
Yeah. I want a better keeper, but that's not the very first position I'm looking at. That'll probably be one of the last, if I'm honest. Yeah.
That's like mowing your lawn while your house is on fire.
Yeah, I think that's not what the boys are saying. I think it is an area we should be looking at, but it's not one that I would say is a priority at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, you still got 2 years, man. Relax. You know.
Yeah.
Whilst I sort out other areas of the damn team, but he's definitely one that I'd be looking at because I think, whilst I'm not convinced there's necessarily much better out there. I do think that if there is a chance to improve any area of our defense, we should be looking at it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, it's one of them minutes where you think if we get all our business done in the summer and we have time to address the goalkeeper, I'm all for it. But if we get everything else done and they don't manage to look at the goalkeeper situation, I'm fine with that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think we need to sign Matt Ryan though as a backup keeper.
We need someone other than Runners, then, don't we?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind giving Ryan a year. I wouldn't mind giving Ryan a year just to see what he's about. I've still not seen enough of him to be confident in him yet, but I wouldn't mind giving him a year. Definitely. Yeah. Now, if we could somehow sell Willian, that would be a beautiful piece of business. Because I keep hearing stories that there's all sorts of teams that are after Willian. I'm like, if we can make that happen, let's make that happen.
It's the papers, though, isn't it, Terry?
Well, it is, isn't it, at the moment? That's what I'm saying. I'll tell you what, then.
Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence.
I'll tell you what, then. So if you believe that, right? If you believe that, you also believe that Szczesny and Ramsey are coming back. What a goal, Willian! With a free kick. What a good goal.
Did he score it? I'm still watching him lining it up. I was talking about him in the hope that he'll put himself in the market.
He's come back to big.
Yeah, good goal, very good goal.
Stan, that's what I'm saying. So if you believe that Willian's going to America because all these stories, you believe that Szczesny and Ramsey's coming back next season then?
I want to see this free kick.
That was a good goal. Very good goal.
Good free kick. Good free kick.
I guarantee a lot of this fan base now. Oh, give him a chance! Come on, he's just scored. He's back.
I was just about to say. Guess what? His season's just started.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is, right? We joke about that, But it is true, isn't it? There are a lot of this fan base who will look at that.
There will be, yeah, there will be.
You just needed time to settle.
Yeah.
You just needed time to settle coming from West London.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
The roads can be busy.
You know why it hurts us? Let's be honest here. Before we bought him, all of us would have said he's a decent player.
Exactly
all of
what I
us.
said earlier on. Exactly what
all
I said
of us
earlier
would have said he's a decent player. It's just that it hasn't, for whatever reason, turned out, it hasn't happened. It just has not happened.
But I just didn't want to have another Chelsea, off-cast.
Yeah. I must admit, I never wanted him. I never wanted him, but if you had to ask me point blank, do I think he's a good player? I would have said, yeah, he's a good player. I don't want him, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the difference is, Chip, because you're well known with the YouTube world. When you say it, it's okay when you say it. When I say it, I'm deluded. I'm just deluded, and God knows what. You know what I mean? So
hang on.
Selling yourself world. Don't say yourself killed.
I still think he's a good player. You don't become a bad player overnight, right? So listen, we're very quick to write off a lot of these players, right? It's only recently I'm now thinking, hang on a minute, surely, how is every player, in my opinion, regressed under this manager? So now I'm looking at the coaching more because Willian was Chelsea's player of the season. In that last season he was there. You're telling me in the space of a month he's gone from that to this? There's got to be more to it, Terry. You do not become a bad player overnight. You don't.
I agree with Mike England. I agree
with you, Diesel. I agree with you. I've said that he's been rubbish this season. What I said is that when we got him, he was like Jig said, he was a good player.
I agree with Mike England. It's that stigma and reputation of being Chelsea's retirement home. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of stigma. Yeah, come to Arsenal, man. When you arrive, you get a big fluffy dressing gown and slippers. It's fucking beautiful. Put your feet up. You know what I mean? Have a pina colada. That's the image that we want to get rid of. We want to get rid of that.
Yeah, I agree with that, Stan. I agree.
Big up David P. We shall be talking to Chig off camera. Yeah, so don't worry about that. Right? He's just got to sign the thing. Chig, sign the thing. Yeah, no, they have. I refuse to believe, right? That. Listen, we need players. We need an overhaul. Don't get me wrong, but I will not have anyone tell me, right? That the squad he's got there, right, can't get better than 10th. I refuse to believe that. And an FA Cup fools a lot of us. Don't fool me. But there you go. But anyway,
that's West Bromwich Albion Dan now. Anyway, they're relegated. So. That's Big Sam. Is that the first time he's been relegated, Chig?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah. Chris Warner was one more time.
He normally saves them all the time.
That's his reputation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
But you know what makes me right? Do you know what? Right, you say that, yeah. This was the argument, right, that we was having about the likes of Carlo and Mourinho, and when you look at Sam Allardyce, yeah, he could have saved. Just say, for example, right, he's been at 10 clubs. 9 of those clubs, right, he's actually saved from relegation. The very last club he goes to, he gets them relegated. People always forget the 9 that he and they always go off your last job. So now people will say, he's rubbish, he's this, he's that. But so quick, it's like Carlo's Stan, right? Terry, right, was one of them. Was it Carlo? He's washed up, yeah. Well, you did say that, right? All because the last club he was at, right, he didn't do the business. He flopped. But then I look at it and think, okay, well, that's one club he flopped at. But the other 8 or 9, he's done the business. So I think it's very unfair. In my opinion, this country, very
Diesel,
quick to knock people down. I'm telling you, serious.
You know what, Diesel? I wish he was my boss. Do you know what I mean? Because my boss is of the adage, you're only as good as your last sale. Do you know what I mean? He forgets about the big deal that you got the other year. Do you know what I mean? Like that big deal.
No, but again, like you said, we could have got an experienced manager in, like Carlos. At the moment, we'll be 3 points better off.
Do you know what makes me laugh, right?
Hold up.
Terry. What do I use? With E. It begins with E. 5 letters. What 5 letters?
Let me explain.
What word do I use? I use experience. What do I use?
Let me explain, right?
Ask him because he's not listening to me, yeah? Because he knows I'm not.
He's 1 space above us and he's 3 points above us, right?
Well, that makes him a little bit better than Arteta then. Yeah.
Right, so you'll be happy with that then. So you're really unhappy that we're in 9th place.
No, you're right, Tel. Let's just keep Mikel because he's such a risk giving it to another manager. Let's just keep Mikel. Better the devil, you know, Terry. Your logic is, you know. So let's not give it to another manager. Let Mikel stay here and run us into the ground.
No, I didn't say that. Did I say that?
We take a risk and give it to someone else. How dare we? I don't say that. The word I use is elite. I'm an elite manager.
Managers that you wanted. 2 experienced managers that you wanted.
You're a wind-up merchant. You are, right? You know what you're doing. You are winding up. Yeah?
Yeah. Right, listen. 2 managers you wanted at the beginning of this season. One of them's been sacked and won nothing, like I said. And the other one is 1 space higher with 3 points.
No, you're right, Terry. Man United.
I'm just trying to say, just because we've got an experienced manager in doesn't mean we're going to be top 4. That's all I'm trying to say. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Chig, or not? Thank you.
No, Chig's been polite. He knows, right?
No.
I'm sorry. No.
If you take away the sentiment, you'll understand what I'm saying.
More to the point, we're trying to sign Chig after this. You're not making a good impression of our channel, are you?
You don't think there's any other manager out there, Terry, that would have...
I did not say that, Stan. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is...
Thank you,
sir. What I'm hearing is that you think that Mikel Arteta is the best person for what he's got, and that there's no other manager.
Thank you, Stan.
I'm not saying that. Did I say that? Did I say that just because if we keep Arteta, we're going to be full here?
Yes, that's what you're saying. Read between the lines, that's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that there's 2 managers that Diesel would have had at the beginning of this season. 2 managers, right? 2 managers. One of them's been sacked and done nothing for their club. The other one is 1 place higher, 3 points more. That's all I'm trying to say, Stan. Just because we changed the manager doesn't automatically put us in top 4 and we're challenging for the title.
We'll have to see when we get to the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? And if when it gets to the end of the season, whoever that is that's 1 spot above us, for me, is 1 spot higher, 1 spot better.
Right. So hold up. Just going by that analogy in. You know what I mean? Going by that analogy in, would you rather be Tottenham because we've got Tottenham now that for maybe the 5th year has finished higher than us, or would you rather be Arsenal that's won 4 trophies in that time? Which club would you rather be?
No, I don't want to be Tottenham. I'd never want to.
No, I'm just saying. But it could be Chelsea. It could be, Everton. But it's Tottenham, unfortunately. They made that argument.
All ifs and buts. All ifs and buts. Yes.
No, it's not if and buts. It's not if and buts. That's facts, Diesel. Would you rather be Tottenham than
that is a good question.
Or would you rather won 4 trophies?
The only thing I would say is that let's be real here. Life does not work like, if Carlo had us,
exactly,
then we'd only be 3 points above. We'd only be 3 points
I agree with that.
You don't agree with it. So, if okay, look, it is all right. So, if Everton, just say for example, Terry, right, when this season ends, right, Carlo gets Everton to say 5th, right, for argument's sake. Then in the summer he becomes our manager because he got Everton 5th. Does that mean he's automatically going to get Arsenal 5th?
No,
it doesn't. But you're saying, he's only 3 points above us. Who's to say? But your logic is, he's going to do here what he done there. It doesn't work that way.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying if you're looking at what he's done. Don't forget, you were saying that Mourinho was going to win trophies at Tottenham. You said that. I
said he was going to win trophies. I said it wouldn't surprise if he wins trophies.
You said he was going to win trophies at Tottenham. Do you want me to show you the evidence, Diesel?
Show me the evidence.
Get the evidence for you.
Show me that. I said, in my opinion, he would win something at Tottenham.
You said
he was sacked a week ago for the final, Terry. Whether he won anything at Spurs or not, he's a better manager than what we've got now. That's a fact.
He's been sacked.
Terry, get used to it, right? Get used to it. Where was this process, believing, under Emery then? Where was it? Right? How fitting is it? How fitting? Right? The manager we sacked, right, rocked up in their own backyard, right, and took the piss out of our present manager now. How fitting is? Yeah, but no, you don't even like to give this man any credit, though, do you? He's level. Emery's levels above Arteta, levels, and he showed that. Yeah, this man who you still believe in, how you still believe in it after what we've seen the last week. I'll tell you what, Terry. I'll tell you something. Yeah, I'll tell you something. What you're seeing, you need to go and see someone, bruv. I'm telling you now. You're my boy, yeah, and I'll be honest with you. Go and see someone because what you're doing at the moment, it's not right.
Listen, I will try and go and see someone, but at least, when I said if we would have got that manager, we would not have done anything, and we would have gone backwards like Mourinho's done with Tottenham. He's got sacked. So I'm so glad that we didn't get him, Diesel.
You've got an awful mentality, Terry. Awful mentality. And I mean that. Hand on heart, I mean that. Your mentality is dreadful. And you need to fix it and quick. Because I'll tell you something now. Right? Every man and his dog at the moment, right, can see this man, he ain't the answer. And you are the only one I know who still sees something. I just don't understand it. Don't you want us to be the best? Why not aspire? Aspire to be. Aspire to be.
What did I say?
No, all you do is Mourinho, ready to Ancelotti. You're talking about two heavyweights here, and yet you're back in this fraud. No, man.
Hold up again. You were talking about Tuku earlier on. You were talking about Tuku. Why? You're allowed to talk about him and other managers, and again, I'm not allowed to pick it up.
Terry, I'll talk about him, right? Because you
don't like it, Diesel. You don't like it.
3 or 4 years. I've showed you a man who's done it in 2 months. Yeah, and you can't even. Everyone is arguing in or out. You can't answer it. All you do is, if you get sacked tomorrow, if you get sacked tomorrow, I can't grumble with it. That wasn't the question, Terry. The question people are asking you: are you in or are you out? And you can't answer it. Simple. Don't shy away, be a man and answer the bloody question.
Diesel.
Oh, dear.
Listen, this is how we're going to know. Did Mourinho do it for Tottenham? Did he do it for Tottenham?
Oh, people in glass houses. How many times have I got to say this to you, Terry?
Deflection again. Don't worry about what he done for Tottenham.
Oh, do you know whatever?
Worry about what he done for Real Madrid. Worry what he done for Chelsea.
Joseph Connor Golden, thank you for your super chat, mate. And do you know what, Joe? You've done it at the right moment, mate. Because I've got to read something, so I have to calm down. Big up Diesel and Terry. Arteta out. Funny, he was Arteta out. What a nutter you are, Joe. Arteta out. Good win today, but I thought El Neni and ceballos were awful second half. I didn't watch it, Joe. I can't even comment on that. I'll take your word for it. But thank you very much for your donation, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, let's move on from that anyway. Chig, what do you want to happen from now on, mate?
Sorry, say that again.
What do you want to happen from now on? What do you think the plan is for Arsenal?
Finish the season as quickly as possible. Move on from the manager as quickly as possible. Sort out our long-term future of our owners as quickly as possible. And if that means Kroenke staying, that also needs to be Kroenke invested. It's as simple as that.
Okay. We've got the legend Kenny Ken. Can I just say an all before we get him? And Diesel will back me up. Chig will also back me up on this, but this man looks half the size he does on screen than what he is in real life.
Yes,
because when I see him on Friday, oh my fucking God, he blocked the sun up, sky out, and God knows what that was in front of me. This man is an absolute giant, and he is absolutely wide with his muscles. And what a man you are, Kenny. And it was a lovely send-off, wasn't it, on Friday, mate?
Yeah, it's great. It's great send off for the great man. He did his family did him proud, and it was nice to have all his close friends there as well to support to be there at his family's request. And it was nice to go to Leanne's house and meet the whole family as well.
Yeah,
and get more of the Claude story as well, because we only got Claude's side of everything. But it was nice to see everyone else great. It's nice to see Aldo again as well, and get to talk to Aldo for a bit as well, because
what a lovely man he was as well. What a lovely man. Yeah.
No man should.
Looks good for his age and all, doesn't he?
What's that?
Looks good for his age. He looks like him with good health.
Doesn't he? Great health, but no man should bury his son in there. It was a big responsibility for his lovely daughter as well to go through all of that. Try and make sure everything was going all right, and dealing with her own emotions and her own loss as well. So I've got nothing but admiration for her. She looked after the whole day, and she made us all feel welcome, and into her home and into her lives. And I just want to pass on my love to the Caligari family as well, because like I said, it's like the journey starts now. And that's when things get harder. And then she's got all of us. We're only a call away. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right, mate. You're right. What did you think of the game, Ken?
Did you even watch it, Ken? We didn't.
No, I watched the game because simple reasons that it's Arsenal, and
exactly.
I think all three of us. Where's Chig?
I don't know. I think he's just I don't know if he's popped off or his internet or what. But
yeah, but all five of us in all five of us. If you think include Chig as well. We've been there with Arsenal where when the pressure's off, like the shackles come off. There's a period where we play very, very good football. Where we could kill teams with just our movement, our speed, and we did that after 20 minutes, where I thought Saka was unplayable at left back, absolutely unplayable, and Willian had a good game as well. But I would say that I don't think we're going to be playing teams as bad as West Brom. Then in the second half, typical Arsenal, they score, we get scared.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. 3-1 win at the end. West Brom been relegated. We're 3 points behind 3 points behind Everton and 4 points behind Tottenham. Do you think we can do it, Kenny?
Well, we've got Chelsea next. And I think what's happening is that they weren't very happy to look. Well, it doesn't mean we can't beat them, because
we beat them in December.
Yeah, we beat them in December, and there's no reason why we can't as well. They had a very good win against Man City. I thought it was setting off, they were a better side. Probably didn't play Man City's best team, but they're so hard to break down. Another thing as well, on the counter attack, the pace where they attack in numbers. Through Werner and people running in, Mason Mounts making runs. So Ziyech when he plays, it's so hard to play against them when they're on the counter attack. It's like, I don't think you can even catch them when you're on a motorbike. That's how hard they are to play now. Sometimes I wish Lampard wasn't sacked. What about you guys? What do you think?
Well, Stan, what do you think, mate?
Well, every game now to the end of the season is like a cup final, isn't it? We're playing for pride. All because we are where we are doesn't mean that we should just just throw our hand in. Let's try and salvage as many points as we can. And as I was saying earlier, perhaps even try and use it as start your pre-season early. If someone like Ceballos doesn't want to be here, then stop playing him. Use somebody from the academy who's just on the outskirts. Give them some minutes. Start bedding them in now. Start pre-season early. I don't. Why not?
Just quickly, Warren, thank you very much for tuning in again, mate. Once again, really appreciate it. Everyone, go and give his YouTube channel a watch. He's got some great content on there. But thanks again for watching, mate, and see you soon, mate. These what's your thoughts on the Chelsea game coming up?
Do you know what? It's I'm a bit of both. I look at it and I just think, do you know what? Yes, people are going to say we beat Chelsea before, but that was under Frank Lampard. This is under Thomas Tuchel. It's a different Chelsea side. We're going to be facing a Chelsea side who are working hard, running through brick walls, tactically astute. But then on the other hand, like I said to you earlier on, when there's no pressure on us, Chelsea are going to be the favourites. It's very like Arsenal to rock up and beat them, but it doesn't. Listen, it doesn't really matter. Lone Star can say all that, but listen, I'm fuming because Ken, you know what? When we really, really needed these players and the manager, when we really needed a character, when we really needed them to pull something at the bag, they let us down, right? And I'm not on about, 2 semi-finals where, we played really well and every player left it all out on the pitch and we just happened to be beaten by the better side. We saw 2 semi-finals, right? Not just normal games, these are semi-finals, right? It's a route through to the promised land. 2 semi-finals where these players just could not be bothered. That hurts. And do you know what? For me now, we could win every game until the end of the season, 5, 6, 7, 8-0, slapping up teams. I don't care. I don't, because when we really needed them, where were they? And I noticed we scored 3 goals tonight, and they're all sort of celebrating it and giving each other high fives. And I look at that and I just think, do you know what? You players are pathetic. And do you know what? I'm sorry. I know it's harsh, but I'm just saying. I'm angry. It
is harsh. It is harsh.
It is. I want the season done. I want the season done. Chelsea means nothing. So if we beat them,
listen.
We're not in Europe. First time since '95, mate. Come on, man.
Diesel.
Hang on. You're very good to say it's about opinions. That's my opinion, Terry. It's my opinion. I ain't changing it for you or no one.
There's a lot of fans out there that support a lot of teams that don't have, as much as what. Unfortunately, we've had over the years of things like that support their team through week in, relegation.
I support my team. How I want to support my team.
You're saying that you don't give a shit about it or whatever. There's some supporters out there that support Arsenal through and through. I'm one of them. Do you know what I mean? I know that there's nothing to play for, but the badge on this top is what I love. And I will watch
Hang on a minute, right? You're very quick, right, to pass judgment on us fans, support the club. Why are these players supporting us? You're saying about the badge and all this and that.
Yeah.
What about the players, Terry?
I've had to go at the players.
I'm talking to millionaires here. Where are the players? They're still picking up their pads every Friday. Yeah? You're very quick to talk about the fans. Talk about the players, Terry. Talk about the manager who's on $6 million a year. Where were they in 2 semi-finals, Terry? But as long as we beat Chelsea, you forgive and forget with you. You can have a bone who could cheat you week in, week out, and you'd have it. I don't have that, Rick. Once you're done. Sorry.
I've already done that.
Yeah, I bet you have. I bet she did. Anyway, go on, carry on.
I personally can't. I don't know if you've noticed, but I personally can't do nothing about it.
Cronky's dream man, you are. You're Cronky. Fans like you, Cronky's love.
I personally do anything about that. Do you know what I mean? Again, it's just my opinion.
Kenny asked me a question, I've answered it. End of. Move on. Go on.
What I'm trying to say is that you're saying that some of these, I don't give a shit about it, but there are fans out there that will give a shit about it.
So, Kenny asked me, Diesel, what do you think? I've told him what I think. End of. Move on.
Okay.
People hate me for it, and what? I'll tell you how it is. Simple as that.
I'm not saying to hate you for it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, we should be supporting Arsenal Football Club.
You must have us mistaken for some of those other Arsenal YouTube channels, mate. We ain't nothing.
I'm not saying that. No. Come on. What I'm saying is that we're Arsenal through and through. Doesn't matter if it's the players or the managers. It doesn't matter what manager's there or what players are there. We support Arsenal because we love them. That's what I'm trying to say. So it doesn't matter.
Listen, I saw one of the worst performances I've ever seen on Thursday night.
I'm not saying that. Did I say that?
Time has passed. I'm still feeling.
Diesel, tell me or show me when I said that we played brilliant. Did I say that?
Did I? Stan, sorry. Did I just say Terry said we played? Did that?
Well, that's what you're saying. That's what you're implying. That's what you're implying. You're saying about Thursday night. We all know about Thursday night. Of course we do. We're all
Oh my
angry
God,
about that.
Stan, Kenny, Stan, please, can you just tell him what I'm trying to say here? I didn't say Terry said. But you need to see someone, bro. I won't even pay it. I'm telling you, I will pay it. Honestly, Christ.
I think.
Anyway, getting back to the question, Kenny. Chelsea on when is it? Saturday?
No, it's Wednesday. It's FA Cup finals Saturday. FA Cup finals this Saturday, and then we're playing on Wednesday. Wednesday, big game. North London derby.
Well, if I'm being honest, if I'm being honest, I think we're going to get smashed on Wednesday. I think the way that Chelsea played against Man City the other day, I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal.
Well, they still need to cement the top four, and they'll prefer to get in the group stages by finishing third. And if Man United, beat Leicester, then there's an avenue for Chelsea to get into, or Chelsea third already. I'll need to check the table, but saying that, look, Chelsea want to give us a spanking. They love beating Arsenal because of what we used to do to them previously, and Wednesday should be no different. But again, we've got nothing to lose. We're complete underdogs. We shouldn't go there and just get the white flag out like we've not done loads of times when we played Chelsea.
Totally agree.
That's my thing. But if you ask me, if I was a neutral fan and I wasn't a supporter of Arsenal, who would I think will win? Every day Chelsea, because they've got better. They've got a better coach than us, and they've got a better plan of playing than us, and their players are playing bigger games than us this season. That's just factual.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with everything you just said there, Ken. So, just quickly then to sum it up, Diesel, Kenny, sorry, what do you think should happen from now on for Arsenal until next season?
Well, the thing about the thing we got is that everyone says play the kids and blah blah. Well, we do play the kids, and they've always been our best players since we beat Chelsea. The thing is that no player can look at any of us in the eye and say, you know what, hand and heart, we've been fantastic this season, and I can hold my head up high. Collectively and individually, they've been poor. So from now on the season, we're really going to you're really going to find it difficult to decide and say, right, who do we keep next season? We're going to say, right, we keep Tierney, all right, fine. Smith Rowe we're going to keep, Saka we're going to keep, Martinelli. After that, who? And Partey, because we bought for a lot of money. But apart from that's 5 players. Who else? Who else are we going to keep? This is a big summer where certain players are playing for their futures. But I don't think that will make any difference here into the season. Seriously, I know you're not going to agree with me, Stan, or anyone else. The Kroenke, I know everyone here wants the Kroenkes up. Let me tell you something now. They're not going anywhere, right?
Exactly, I agree.
They've got an open goal here. They've really got an open goal. There's 3 things they could do. Sack Arteta. Make sure that they sack Vinay, and they do, and get the best football people in the business that replicate what Chelsea and Man City got. Looking at Haaland and say, is it working? Can we be better? Why is everyone saying Haaland is one of the best academies in the country, yet the best boys in London go to Chelsea? What are Chelsea doing better than us? What are City doing better than us? Is their training ground better than us? Let's get their standards. And then we do that. And then what will happen is that we give a new boss something to work with in terms of having the best people behind the scenes. Plus, we have players coming through and making sure academies up to scratch. And then we invest, which we normally do anyway. And then we say, right, we've got all of this in place. Here we are. This is what we have. We're going to give you the greatest support and then get the best managers available. Don't just like flunk out. Make a top manager an offer they can't refuse. If the Kroenkes are really serious about not selling, but they want to engage with the fans, do that. You've got an open goal here now. It's an open goal. We're not going to like you. We're never going to be friends with you, right? But you look at the Glazers at Man United. Man United fans don't like them. But at least the Glazers take the open goals in front of them, i.e. big expenditure, making sure that if something's not working, they go again. And then what happens is that obviously They haven't had the trophies that Sir they had on the Celeste, but they're still a club that, you know, under Solskjaer is the only ways up. That's what Kroenkes need to do for Arsenal. Take your open goal. You've got an open goal here, mate. Don't mess it up. Don't fluff your lines. Because if you do, there's going to be anarchy.
I agree with everything you said, Ken, but I think my biggest fear is that when you say that they need to go out and get the best people for technical footballer, CEOs, that those kind of roles, they don't know enough about the game to know who those people are. And you saw it when, when Ivan Gazidis decided that he was going to have it away on his toes. They didn't know who to appoint, so much so that they asked Gazidis and he just turned around and said, "What about Raul?" And they went, "All right." There was no recruitment. They didn't go out and look for someone. They didn't have a clue. And look at Vinay. Vinay is supposed to be our general manager. He has no experience.
I hear you. But that's the thing. That's why sometimes you've got to just swallow your pride and say, right, yeah, we're the third biggest club in the country, beyond Liverpool and Man United. But the teams that are on the up and the teams that are going to look like they're going to run away with dominating English football and set up new dynasties are Man United, Man City, and Chelsea. So we've got to look at it and say, wait a minute, what are they doing right? Why don't we find out what they're doing? They're not going to tell us, but why don't we shadow them and say, look, this is where we need to go. It's no good saying, oh yeah, history and tradition isn't going to make us win trophies. It isn't going to get us back to the top. It's basically moving the times and making sure you replicate what other clubs are doing. Yes, it's going to cost us money, but everyone assumes that Man City and Chelsea got to where they are by just spending money on player acquisitions. No, they didn't. They did. They made sure that everything behind the scenes is doing well. Look at the women's teams. We used to be the best women's teams. Who are the best women's teams now in England and Europe? Man City and Chelsea. So they actually want to make sure they're winning that. Their mantra is second is nowhere. Look at Emma Hayes as she's talking. I'm addicted to winning trophies. Tuchel, he's only been here 100 days. And yet he's talking like a Chelsea player.
Well, we can't talk about Tuchel, can we, Ken? You know?
Why not? Why not? It's not.
Because apparently, we can't talk about.
What? Yeah, but why not?
What it is, Ken, we could talk about.
And when you say it, Ken, then it ain't different when he's so right when Kenny said it.
We can talk about Tuchel because he's winning, but we're not allowed to talk about Mourinho or Carlos now, like we was supposed to at the beginning of the season, because obviously everyone said that they was going to be doing it. They was going to win trophies, but no one wants to talk about it.
Kenny talk, come on, man.
Tell. The two teams in this country that got to the Champions League final are Man City and Chelsea. 2 years ago, it was Liverpool and Spurs. Both, and they did it the right way. We're trying to get into a Europa League final. A Europa League. Let's swallow our pride. Let's stop talking about classy. Let me finish. Let's not talk about classy. 1 minute. Let me finish. Let's not talk about classy Arsenal. There's nothing wrong with being classy, but being classy doesn't win you trophies. Let's just go and modernise the football club. Let's modernise.
I totally agree with that, Kenny.
You agree with that? It's funny because I said what Kenny said earlier on. You had an issue with it, Terry.
No.
I know
Listen.
You're bigger than me, but come on. Be consistent now, Terry.
Listen, right? Obviously, when you talk about Chelsea and Man City, you can't not say that they haven't gone out and spent loads of money. You can't go out. When was the last time that Arsenal had £400 million sitting on the bench?
Oh, my God. You're a comedian.
Hold up, Ken. I know you're going to come back at me, but just answer the question first. When was the last time that Arsenal had £400 million sitting on the bench? When was the last time?
All right, I'll ask you. Can I ask you a question?
This is what happens. Come back at me, and then I can't come back at you again with what I need to say after that, right? When was the last time we had £400 million sitting on the bench? When was the last time?
Can I ask you a question?
Our net spend's higher than Man City's, Terry.
Sorry?
Our net spend is higher than Man City's.
Yeah, that's your answer.
But our net spend is higher than Man City's. Net.
Right. And net spend is higher than Man City, right? Yeah. But why is that?
Oh, here we go, Stan. Come on, Stan. Even you can see what he's doing now. He knows he's been done. And then, come on, he's reaching. Stan, come on. Let me go and get the buttered cinema sweet popcorn, bruv. Because he knows. He knows. Liverpool have won the Champions League and the league. We spent more money than Liverpool. Look at Liverpool's bench. They got kids.
Listen.
Doesn't work the same.
This is the thing. This is the thing. Look, right. You're saying you got to do it properly. We done it properly when we done it when we had the team back in ages ago. That season when we was went undefeated for the 3 or 4 seasons before that, we was doing it properly. We was all the best players.
And teams went past us. We didn't evolve.
Exactly. And we kept on living off the past.
And that's the thing.
I'm not living off the past. I'm not living off the past.
1 minute. Let people answer the question. You forgot what I've mentioned. You're talking about money spent on players. I was talking about areas where they made sure they took. I wasn't talking about player expenditure. I was talking about the things off the pitch. The director of football, these positions, the academy, and the things.
They couldn't do that without money. They couldn't do that without money.
But they spent their money properly.
Their owners have got their shit sorted out in the background because they've spent the money. Let's not on about it. They've spent money, Chelsea and Man City. They've got their ass in all the place.
Terry, we could do that.
We can't under the Conkies.
So, I mean, you are struggling there. There you go.
Everyone else knows that.
Terry, I said open goal here. I said open goal. This is where they change. All right, I'm not saying.
Right, so then when we talk about Man City and Chelsea, don't say that they haven't spent money or anything, because of course they have. They've spent their money.
What is wrong with that? There's something wrong with that.
We spent money. We've got to do that first. We're never going to do that with the Cronkies. We're never going to do that with the Cronkies. So if people think that,
hang on,
why do people think that?
We spent our money poorly. Difference.
Player-wise, we have. Of course we have. Exactly. We've been saying this. I've been saying this since we went that season undefeated. We've gone out. We've bought 1 or 2 players that have been fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But what Man City and Chelsea will do is they go and buy 5 players in that one season that are fantastic to go with their 15 players that are fantastic. And then what they do is the season after, they go and get another 5. That's what I'm saying. Arsenal, when was the last time Arsenal done that?
And why are they doing that? Because they got the right people behind the scenes. And what I said is get the right people behind the scenes. I never said that they were doing that on their own. I said they had the right infrastructure behind the support. If we get the right infrastructure, we will be getting the right players. Just like Liverpool had.
That's fine. But it's no point saying if the Cronkies do that, Ken, because they won't.
The Cronkies, the Cronkies are going nowhere. So if we're gonna have your negative vibes of what you think the Cronkies are going to do, and I tell you, in 30 years' time, we're going to be here. If we're all alive, and we're going to be talking about the same things. And guess what we're going to be talking about? 50 years since Arsenal last won the league. And that's
why we've been doing this for 15 years already, Kenny. Ain't we been doing this for 15 years already? Because I think we have. I think we've been sitting here as Arsenal fans saying how far back we've been going for years. Because that's what when I go down the pub or I speak to my dad and my brother and everyone else like that, that's what we talk about, how far we're falling behind every single year. We're being left behind by these clubs.
All right, let me tell you something now. The Cronkies ain't selling. This is an open goal. I'm suggesting they do that. I'm not gonna, and I hope they do that. I'm not gonna go around and say right, they're not gonna do it, and I'm gonna have to put up with it. I want them to do that because guess what? I don't want to be friends with the Cronkies. I'm not. This is Newcastle. And let me finish. This ain't Newcastle where bloody where the geezer was wearing a Newcastle shirt. You know, with his Sports Direct, and he was there buying them drinks. I don't want that crap. I don't want that nonsense. I just want them to do what they do and make sure we have the right people so we can compete. That's all I'm asking for. I couldn't care less whether they're here or not. I don't care because guess what? By August, we're going to have another season. Now, if they say they ain't going to sell and we've made ourselves well known and we've done a bit of a process, then fine. And if they're saying they want to engage, then go on. That's my list of what I want you to do. I can't engage you, but that's your list. That's what I'm saying.
Jake, my guy, Jake, read that exactly. Come on, Jake. There you go. Invalid.
I didn't say there was his players. I didn't say there was his players. When did I say they was Tuchel's players? But let's be honest, any manager could go in there now and do the job. And if people don't believe
Stan, please, Stan, please.
Frank Lampard went. I think Frank Lampard, right, was given everything, right? He was given everything to go in.
He wasn't given everything.
Right?
He wasn't given everything.
There was no. There was none of that. Work with this. You've got to work with that. He got the players in that he wanted, and what's happened? They brought in a much more experienced manager in Tommy Tickle.
Yes.
And look where they are now. Look at the difference.
Exactly. Why didn't Thomas Tuchel come in the season before that or the season before that? Because he knew Chelsea was on a ban, and he didn't want no manager, experienced manager, wanted to go into Chelsea. That's why they had to get Frank Lampard.
Oh, you're reaching, Terry. You are proper reaching now, man.
Why did they go for Frank Lampard then, and not an experienced manager with all the money
Because they were bringing home their golden boy, weren't they? He was there.
No, don't talk about even Tony. Even Tony will tell you that.
Done his apprenticeship at Derby.
Even Tony Rolfe will tell you that. Tony Rolfe will tell you, the Chelsea supporter. He'll tell you why that.
He don't know. He's not inside the club, is he? He supports them.
Because no manager wanted to come in at the time. Because they was on a transfer ban. That is why. They did not want to go in there. You can believe what you want. But listen, anyway, guys, look, we've been going for 2 hours. I need to go and have some dinner before I go to work. Some of us work of a Sunday night, you know what I mean? You know, some of us will be able to go and have a nice hot tub in their garden.
Horse ready. Any horse ready sauce? Horse ready sauce with the beef?
No, I don't like that. Mint jelly sauce. Mint jelly sauce.
Well, you having lamb?
Do you like that? I like that. Mint jelly sauce and mint sauce with my lamb, mate.
No, but if you're having beef, you want to have horseradish sauce, shouldn't you?
I don't like horseradish.
What's that? Why not?
I just don't like
your food.
I don't like it either.
I like a mint sauce or a bit of English mustard.
What, on a roast?
Yeah, on a roast.
I don't like horseradish either. Mint.
No, I don't. I don't like that.
I like a bit of mustard.
Bit of mustard or a bit of
mustard and roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mustard.
What do you have, people?
Or gravy.
Mate, after this stream, I'll eat anything right now. To be honest with you, I love mint sauce. To be fair, I don't just have it on lamb. I love mint sauce. I could have that on chicken, beef, pork. You know, charming stuff. I'm telling you, right? My furniture, it's all smashed up, man. Honestly, this costs me money every stream I do with you, Terry. Honestly.
Hey, guys, you need to save your energy. We've got Chelsea on Wednesday. That's going to be a big derby, big talking point.
It is big game on Wednesday. Oh, yeah, we'll be looking for that. And
Stan,
Kenny, you'll be joining
mate.
Straight after.
Yeah, of course. Stan, good to see you, mate. Hey, what's it
like
Canada?
Nice to catch you, mate.
What's it like in Canada, man?
Lovely, mate. I'm right by the mountains where I am in Vancouver. It's
lovely. Yeah, you've moved it, you Stan. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
What's it like in winter? What's it like in winter, mate? Winter. What's it like in winter? You must need about 10 coats out there in winter.
No, where we are in Vancouver, it's not so bad at all. Down Ontario, it gets really cold. There's snow on the top of the mountains. I can see them from here, but it's a lovely day here. Lovely day.
That's nice. How long have you been in Canada now for?
It's coming up for just gone 2 years now.
Oh, it's good. That's good.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
Would you come back, Stan?
Say again?
Would you come back?
No way. What, to Boris?
I knew it. I wanted to hear you say it.
Can I just say, Diego, Buffalo wins. Oh, I love them. Absolutely love Buffalo.
Oh, mate, yeah.
I didn't know Buffalo's had wings, but there you go.
I think it's all about Buffalo chicken wings, isn't it?
I love them. Well, listen, guys, I really need to shoot. So I need to have some dinner before I go to work. So listen, thanks a lot, everyone, again, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Kenny, always a pleasure, mate. And see you on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Ken. Love you, man.
Stan, lovely to see you again, mate. We won't leave it. too long this time, mate.
Yeah, nice to come on and chat to everyone.
Cheers, Ken.
If there's anyone watching from over America way, tune into Same Old Arsenal USA with myself, and Glenn's now part of the team. Glenn's joined us now as a regular with myself, the bearded Gooner, Rohan, and also Ryan, and that's on Tuesdays if you're in that time zone.
Excellent. Well said, Dan. And obviously, we'll definitely have you back on again soon, mate.
Yeah, some UFC, right? Be coming up soon.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, with everything that's been going on and work lately, it's just been same as Diesel. We've just been really busy, haven't we, mate?
Yeah, very. Yeah, in our personal lives, and there's a lot that's gone on. But listen, Stan's always welcome, man. We made a point, Stan, obviously going forward. You know, only decent people, proper people on this channel. You know what I mean? And obviously, you're definitely one of them.
Exactly.
Whenever you're ready, mate. And can I just say as well, I know you had to shoot off, but big up to Cheek for coming on as well. And please go and subscribe to another real one. Go and subscribe to him, Gooner Eagle Eye. Blimey, he's got 3 channels actually. Gooner Eagle Eye, subscribe to that if you haven't already. The Combat Show, subscribe to that. That's where he talks. I think it's boxing and UFC. And the one that I love is Chick Flicks, where he talks about movies. I'm along with Chick, I'm a massive movie buff. So yeah, Chick Flicks, Combat Show, and Gooner Eagle Eye. So subscribe to him. Also subscribe to Stan as well. Watch Stan on was it Same Old Arsenal USA, Stan, isn't it?
Yeah, Same Old Arsenal USA.
Yeah, what you just said there. And Kenny Ken hasn't got a channel. He bloody well should, but he doesn't want one. So yeah, but he's part of us anyway.
He's on everything, isn't he, Diesel? He's on everything.
He's like a whore, isn't it? He gets about, doesn't he? So bless him. But thank you guys, much appreciated. Oh my God, I need to lie down.
Well, like we said, everyone, thank you very much. And honestly, without yous, we cannot carry on with this channel. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And like we said, we will be ramping up shows every single week now. And now we're sort of getting back to a routine of stuff now. And so we'll be doing that. We'll be back Wednesday for the Arsenal-Chelsea game. So hopefully we'll do one in between that, maybe a member stream. So look out on the community thing on YouTube. You'll see it on there. That's it, the community tab, and we'll let you know when we're doing it. Oh yeah, your cat's tail.
Chasing tail, one of my favourite hobbies. Sorry, God. Did I tell it out loud?
No, look, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Yeah, thanks a lot. Stay safe.
Love yous.